All right, shalom. Shalom. I'm going to start out by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, Kakadash.
double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the Akim out there pushing the word of sincerity and the truth. Another weekend of blazing the word. My brothers here out here with the brothers in Alabama pushing the word of Yahweh, Yahushua, pushing the prophecy, man. You know, we in the end times, we're seeing things popping up left and right. We see that this devil, the self-proclaimed white man, is going to come down with great wrath, man. You're seeing these different shutdowns take place. You're seeing these different heavy executive orders coming to pass. You get Revelation 12:12. You know, you see these heavy executive orders coming down the pipeline. You know, you're seeing that this devil is moving very covertly behind the scenes, and it's all for the demise of the people that you see on this chart. The Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. You know, on the way to the camp, me and the priests, we seen all kind of military bases. These military bases with all these different Humvees and MRAPs, they not just gonna be dormant, man. There's gonna be a time where Esau is gonna open the floodgates of hell on these different cities, man. You know?
Yeah, come. Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them.
It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Keep going.
It says, and woe to the inhabitants of the sea. It's like it woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea.
Right, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and the sea. Why is the scripture saying this? Because when John was on the island of Patmos, he was receiving end-time apocalyptic visions, man. And he knew all hell was going to break loose, and it was going to be a particular people that was going to come down with great wrath on another people, man.
Yeah. It says, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time.
So who is the devil? Is it talking about the red man that's going to emerge from the so-called pits of the nether realm? No. That's Greek mythology. That's a figment of the imagination. That's talking about these so-called white men through these different governments pushing and imposing sanctions, draconian legislation, you know, harsh edicts to put us down, man. That's why you got what? People getting jabbed left and right. And now, I just seen this article with Biden. He's saying the people that haven't got the jab, they're in for a rude awakening, man.
He said they got to pay the price.
They got that was a quote. They got to pay the price. If you type it in Biden, people that don't take the jab, brothers know the word, they're gonna have to pay the price. What the hell does that? What price do we have to pay? You know, this devil is gonna start throwing a lot of these jakes in concentration camps, knocking, hauling off a lot of these different jakes that haven't got jabbed. You know. Coercing you. That's why what are they doing now? Trying to pay and persuade individuals to get jabbed, man. You're getting prizes in the lottery. You're getting this and that, you know, just so that you can get that injection.
Oh, can I say the guy, you know, they had the lottery in Ohio, I believe. How about the guy who won $1 million in Alabama? Actually won a jackpot. Got jabbed.
Got a jackpot. Yeah. Got jabbed for the jab.
If you don't, eventually it's going to come down to, if you don't take it, they're going to start to ostracize you from society.
Yeah.
All right? You're going to start being left out of certain things. Especially like, what was it, maybe about 2 months ago, they had it to where you can start giving it to little kids. So now they can start going back to these public schools and actually have so-called in-person learning again. Right? But let's say, you know, you don't believe in it, you don't take it, so your child don't take it. Well, if they don't take it, then they won't be able to get their education in these schools no more. Because a lot of these systems are even doing away with the option to have virtual learning. You know? And if your kid is not in school, that's what? A truancy violation. So a lot of things are going to be put in place to where you're going to be looked at like the bad guy for not taking it. That's right. And what is that leading up to? That's going to lead up to the MOB, the mark of the beast, right? The chip. Okay, because the chip is coming. Like a lot of Israelites, they don't believe that, but the prophecy says otherwise. Yeah. You know, and that's going to be an even more heavy avenue for them to actually start to categorize people that don't take it. And like the brother said, put you in the camp, you know, jail you, or do whatever. You know, this man's going to come down with heavy and great wrath.
And can I say, in the third chapter, when they said he do not bow down to the sound of the symbols and the image. it's going to be harsh. It's going to be repercussions, man.
Repercussions.
Yeah.
That's right.
So this devil going to begin to show his horns. That's in Sirach the 12th chapter. You know, well, it says this man's countenance, his countenance shall change. So eventually you're going to see them horns come out.
You're going to see them horns come out. Yeah, because see, a lot of these Jays get the picture of Esau, you know, corporate America as a devil in a nice three-piece suit, you know, with that monotone greeting. And you don't think that this man behind the scene is work basically has the power to put you down. You know, a lot of these devils are funneling all billions of dollars to make sure that, hell, Bill Gates, he was one of the forerunners of this jab, man. And he wanted it. He wanted to push it where the whole world get jabbed. And what was the main thing they said? We're going to make sure that the blacks get it first. It was like, we're going to get the nurses, we're going to get the medical field, and after that, we're going straight to the Negroes in the ghettos, and these low-income housings, all right, in these project homes. Going back to Revelation 12 and 12, it's still small in Revelation, right?
Well, they said blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
That's what they said.
12 tribes.
12 tribes. Small in Revelation. 12, yeah.
Yeah, Revelation 12 and verse 12 again. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time.
Right, so this devil is all about calculations. All right, it tells you in the book of Psalms how he's wiser than Daniel. He knows that his kingdom, you know, or this queendom is on its way down. It's on a dramatic decline. They study everything. They study algorithms. They study analytics. You know, they understand plant life. They understand animal life. They know everything is dying off. That's why it's a massive extinction. You know, myself, I watch a lot of Animal Planet, and then you watch it, you might see certain things like Siberian tigers and things, and then you getting all into the animal, and then what Esau say? Oh, it's only so many of them. You know, they're about to die off. Then you go to they'll take you to different parts of the world, depending on, you know, what type of animal-based TV show that you watch, and they'll just show you things are just dying off. And they always speak about climate change. They always speak about really Edomites going to these different lands and pillaging them and destroying them, man. So this world doesn't have too much longer, man. And we understand that it tells you in the book of Ecclesiastes that the earth abideth forever, but the conditions of this world that it's in, no flesh shall be saved. It's written in the prophecy. And this devil knows that. That's why he's trying to get this thing off the ground quick. And he's moving very, very sloppy. It's at the point where, like, oh, we catching everything you're doing at this point, man. You know, before he would cover it up and, you know, try to work his snaking methods. Now he just ramming through, man. He just steamrolling. Like, I don't give a hell if you see, you know, y'all see me running over people or whatnot. We're gonna get this thing off the ground. So on that, or that's it?
Yeah, this is Job 5 and 14. They meet with darkness in the daytime and grope in the noonday as in the night. Okay, so it said, like you said, everything is out there now, man. This man, his secret counsel, his agenda is now being revealed. As you know, a nigga plotting and scheming like he gonna rob you. It gets to the point you know this nigga robbed you when he pulled the strap out, man. So the light is on this nigga, man. You know, his agenda is being made known. It tells you that dealing with Elisha and the Syrian king. We know the things that this man is speaking in his bedchamber, man. You know?
Yeah. And how do we know these things? Whistleblowers, man. A lot of these whistleblowers and these lesser luminaries that was sleeping in the bed with Esau, but they got caught up, you know, with certain things, and they just started going on these full exposés, man. And it's all kind of exposing channels, you know, blacklisted news, these alternative media sites, you know. A lot of them expose just straight up devil, man. Alex Jones, which they banned him.
Yeah.
You know, why? Because he was pushing out too much truth, and he was pushing certain things that was going to make it hard for this devil to get his NWO off the ground, man. Prime example, this guy Aaron Russo. He met up with Nick Rockefeller. Nick Rockefeller was one of the biggest men, financial tycoon. And what he said when him and Nick Rockefeller had a discussion, which he's dead now, Aaron Russo, he got put to death. But he said that he asked Nick Rockefeller, he said, man, y'all got the world, y'all got the resources under y'all. Yeah, what's the goal? He said, y'all got the resources under y'all thumb, y'all got control, y'all got dominance. What is it? What's the goal? Y'all pretty much, what's the end all be all. And Nick Rockefeller said, he basically said, you know, basically putting a microchip in these individuals, man. You know? And then you can watch the video on YouTube shortly after he got put to death. That's one example of many whistleblowers. You see, just like you said, you know, revealing him out of that bed chamber.
So, you got something? It's Isaiah 29:15. Woe to them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us? Lord.
Yeah, who seeth us and who knoweth us? Yeah, this devil, he tries to do certain things, and he doesn't want to take the blame. And that's why they'll set up these different puppets. You know, you got these certain individuals protesting at these, you know, the governor's mansion. They'll be pissed off if they're governors and mayors. Those ain't nothing but pawns, man. You know? They're just put in place to forward the agenda of the elites, man.
And to be scapegoats.
Like
a lot of these governors are being blamed for what happened with the shutdown and stuff. Mm-hmm. They're the face of what happened. That's where the elites actually setting things up, because really, like how the society is collapsing, Esau thinks he's doing it by design. He thinks it's his plan, because he wants to destroy the economy. He wants to destroy the world. He wants to mess up the household. He wants to mess up food. And then he's going to be the savior by introducing the chip and bringing in a so-called New World Order. He thinks that's of him, but really that's of the Lord. Because as this society collapses, it's going to slowly slip out of his hand.
That's why I tell you in the book of Job, the 20th chapter.
Job 20.
I know I had you hold that second letter too. It was some on that precept. That was it. Okay, you bring precept that, brother.
All right, this is 2nd Ezra 16 and 68.
Oh, that's you got it. Go ahead.
For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you.
They shall take away certain of you. You know, that's why even back a few years ago they were speaking about those different lists, and we know we all on the list, man. Yeah, the red list, the blue list. They calling us black, so-called black extremists. You know, anytime they put us on the news, it's at a negative light. They never speak about the good that we're doing, praying over our, you know, certain, you know, of our people, you know, actually teaching this word, teaching this Bible, going into these prophecies. This is a beautiful word. This is the gospel, man.
Speaking the truth.
Speaking the truth.
Anybody that speaks the truth in this society, whether it's on their end or especially us, they got to get put in a negative light.
And that's why now what they said, they're going to label these different gangs as, which they already been doing since the Patriot Act, labeling them as terrorists. Really, everybody's labeled as a damn terrorist, man. And that's why if you know, brothers look at these different crackdowns, like I'll be watching, you know, certain news, you know, certain things that go on in these different states. They're cracking down, man, on these different gangs in New York, starting with New York.
Get them out the way, get the rest of these other gang members chipped and jabbed and all that.
Yeah, they getting a lot of these different jakes on these RICO charges, which is racketeering and a conspiracy operation. They're trying to put us in that same light. But guess what? We just teach the word of Yahweh by Shema Shah. You can't get us for no drug charges. You can't get us for no arms stealing. You can't get us for no prostitution rings. You can't get us for nothing, man. That's why he's trying to push these different executive orders and trying to outlaw this, man. They're trying to make this a weapon, you know, of assault. They're trying to take away your freedom of speech, freedom to assemble, basically freedom to preach the word of Yahweh by Shema Shah, because this is effective. And this is tearing down his kingdom, man. Tearing down those strongholds.
Yeah, it's a saying, in a time of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary act. Yeah, so this is a direct contrast to what Esau trying to do.
And Esau see that. He sees the revolution that's happening amongst our people. He sees there's different camps popping up all over the world, different groups telling the blacks, Hispanic, Native Americans, or Israelites. He sees that. He sees the especially the chariots. So now it's our time to put out our report, and that they're so-called real. Of course they are. Okay, of course they are. But he wants to control the narrative. But guess what? The truth is already out there. It's already out there. But if he can make it seem like we're the bad guy, and he can get the minds of the people to look at us that way, it's a lot easier for him to actually put his hands on us. As soon as he does that, that's when the Lord gonna move.
Yeah, And so we waiting on this devil to make his move because we know right when he make his move, that's when our big brother Yahweh Shah gonna make that move. Got some on it?
Yep. It says, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you, and they shall take away certain of you and feed you, being idle with things offered unto idols. And they that consent unto them shall be had in derision and in reproach and trodden underfoot."
Yep.
And you're going to have a lot of our people that they're already doing it. Okay, like brothers, we're talking about the insistence to take the jab. Okay, we got a lot of people that for an extra $40, $50 on their paycheck, they'll go and they'll show their job to look, see, I took the shot. You know what I'm saying? Let me get that extra. You know?
What can I say? You go to that word, that's an incentive.
Yeah.
You go to that word incentive, you know one of the words is stimulus.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick up that word incentive.
Yeah.
You go to the similar words on the word
Stimulus, yeah.
But that's what it is. Okay, you're going to pay us $2,000 a month? Because what was the other word? That was a universal basic income. Because basically what that is going to do, that pacifies people.
Pacifies the people.
It may, okay, I don't have to work, I don't have to do this. All I have to do is just follow you and comply. But what does the prophecy say? The prophecy says those that consent within society, you're going to be trodden down. You're going to be put in a position where you're going to have to either get down and lay down. Okay?
Yep. And
especially when it comes down to the chip.
Yeah, and just to add to the priest, another term is like a nanny state, man. They're turning this into a nanny state where basically he's the mother, and he's basically rocking you to sleep. If you see, if you look up the definition of a nanny state, yeah, it's an over. Brother, what do you look it up? Look at real fast. Nanny state. I'm going to bring
that say too. That's heavy. This place is known as the darkness. You know, sometimes it grows dark. That's what you do in the dark. You go to sleep. You're more prone to go to sleep when it's dark.
Dream.
Yeah. American dream. Yeah.
An American dream.
Look at it. It's gonna be a nightmare.
Yeah, it's a spirit.
This is nanny state. It says the government regarded as overprotective.
Overprotected. And this devil is showing himself to be, you can't go to this city. You can't go to this country. Because when the crackdown happened, Esau was making it where you couldn't do shit. Stay your ass in the house, and we're going to just pay you. And Jake was like, oh, shit, we get paid to stay home? Nah, you don't know this devil. He got a couple tricks up his sleeve, man. And now everybody, because one major thing that's going on now is a lot of people don't even want to work at this point. Yeah. You know, a lot of people like, man, look, F going back to work, all these stimuluses and these PPP loans and all this, money that's coming out. I'd rather just sit back and let the government take care of me. And Esau like, shit, I take care of you, right? As long as you take that jab, man. As long as you comply. We got more stuff coming out of the pipeline to keep feeding. Some more to that.
God, it says the government regarded as overprotective or as interfering unduly with personal choice.
Interfering unduly with personal choice. Because here it is, they're going to basically, you don't want to work, we're going to give you this money. Oh, school education, don't worry about that. We'll give you that just as long as you can. Basically, they're going to make the choice for you. So by them making the choice for you, what is that making you? That's making you basically a robot. But what's that going to cause if you're not out there being active doing stuff? Your mind deteriorates because your brain can deteriorate. Your brain can deteriorate, your health deteriorates, because they want to kill you off.
They want to kill you off, keep you in a passive state.
Oh, yeah. Right, keep you in a passive state, yeah.
Pacifying you, man. Pacifying you by these different stimuluses, keep throwing all this money in your pocket, which is what? Doing nothing but desensitizing you.
Yeah.
So by the time these different governments start to crack down, Jake ain't gonna have the spirit of fight. A lot of these Jakes just gonna bow down to the sword. You got it. Some more.
Yeah, some more. It says, verse 7, it says, "For there shall be in every place and in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord." So there's going to be a time when there's going to actually be military action, police action taken against our people. We saw that during the riots last year with George Floyd and Kyle Bryant and all these Jakes that got killed. And Jake was out there acting a fool, and all of that. These military, okay, well, you know what? That's a reason to actually crack down. Now they want to put laws into place to where you can't even do that. So they're doing away with the so-called Bill of Rights and the rights have according to this American Constitution. Because it got laws in place basically where you can't protest or you can't riot now. I believe that that's on the books somewhere in Florida and other cities and places, stuff overseas. Okay? So basically, y'all want to go out here and pick a sign and march? All right, well, guess what? Because you're not following federal laws, we can send the military in, and that's what's going to actually have the insurrection take place. Because then you're going to have people that are going to revolt. They're all going to fight back against the government. They're all going to shoot guns and Molotov cocktails and actually butt heads. Okay? You know? And they're definitely going to come against our people. All right? Those that fear the Lord. Let's talk about the Israelites, because it's in our spirit to fear the Lord. All right? But also really, like brothers like us, is teaching. All right?
And can I say too? That's them reneging on the First Amendment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you're supposed to have the right to assemble. Yeah. But that proves Psalm 50. This man's breaking his covenant.
Breaking his own covenant.
Yeah, so we know that's the devil. We know the so-called white man is the devil.
Yeah.
Through his characteristics. If it walk like a, all the same, walk like a devil. Talk like a back like a devil.
Look at his history.
Walk like a devil, talk like a devil. He's a damn devil. If they would have said the joke. If not, who is he?
Right, if not,
If this man isn't the devil, point him out. All right? But Jay can't replace him. Who the actual devil truly is. There's no other person that has ran amok on the face of the earth like this white man.
Right.
Yeah, it says they shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord.
Yeah, this devil gonna go berserk, man. He's gonna go like a chicken with his head chopped off, destroying these cities just to get this thing off the ground. Because he wants everybody to be fully tracked. He wants everybody to be microchipped. He wants to have control of you. That's where it tells you that in the book of Revelation, the 18th chapter. The souls of men. He wants to harvest your soul. It's not even about, I want to just check your bank account. That's why, hell, when you be about taxes, it ain't about taxes, it ain't about none of that at this point. Because he already got control of everything.
Right.
When you get into some of these phones and they'll have this long ass laundry list of certain things and you just click accept. Sometimes you got to sit down and read that fine print, man. A lot of that shit be saying that, we got full rights to go through your phone. We can check all your messages. Because I sat down and read, I'm like, what the fuck? And you know what I clicked decline. It wouldn't let me use the phone. You got to click accept. And they'll take this information and they'll trade it. And then Facebook connected, Facebook connected to this site. This site connected to that site. You're like, oh shit, all my stuff is under the thumb of this devil, man. So we got something real quick. Oh, you finish that in
Okay. I'll do this real quick. It says, but they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. Then shall they be known who are my chosen, and they shall be tried as the gold in the fire.
Yeah, military invasions, man. These different military men, and those military men are dumb dogs, man. They're all about getting compliant. Because when they take these military men overseas, they warp their minds, man. They break them down. That's why you have a fucking, it might be a 5'2" general, whatever the position is above that man, barking all in his face, telling him to bow down, putting his head into the ground. Because what? He's breaking them down, to control them. And these same military men, Esau's gonna hire a lot of these, what's the word? Mercenaries, I think it's mercenaries. Yeah. They're gonna hire a lot of these mercenaries to come to the American shores and put in that work. And you're gonna have a lot of these individuals sovereign citizens. A lot of these individuals think they're going to be able to exercise, like we were talking about, their freedom of speech, freedom of assembly. It's a video which I seen of like sovereign citizens getting creamed. They be trying to talk to these devils about the rights. These devils don't want to hear none of that, man. They don't care about what's on the books. They're just ready to crack down, man. And that's why we know in this time that we have to be fully protected and under the shadow of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. There is no out debating this devil, man. You ain't gonna be able to out precept the devil. We gotta trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushua and believe in him to deliver us from this stuff, man. Because you got a lot of jakes that think they're gonna they be having that spirit of debate. Yet when these devils come, I know the right thing. Nah, man. We gotta trust fully in Yahweh Shem Yahushua in that day. That was it, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. That brother had a precept too. You got it.
Yeah. This is Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and then write grievousness which they have prescribed.
Right, and that's all this federal legislation they got going on, especially behind the scenes. Like, I tell you, like, for example, right, with Joe Biden, first of all, I've heard nothing from Kamala Harris at all. It's like,
Oh, man,
you don't see her on the, like, the last couple presidencies, they all on the TV, they all on the news, they all on social media, you see them, but this administration is different.
Kamala ain't doing
They're real political devils, man. They ain't doing nothing but sitting behind that desk, signing off on certain things, stamping seals of approval.
Yep.
Then they come on the news and say, if you do this,
and taking
we'll do
pictures
this.
with rappers and shit. That's all I've been seeing Kamala Harris do it.
You know?
Taking pictures with a little baby, and T.I. and all these little rap niggas.
Right, but now that they're in office, they're not really doing that.
They ain't doing that.
They're not doing that. They're actually being actual so-called leaders of the people. Oh, what's the problem? Stamping this, stamping that. And they're not here to play no games. Honestly, yeah, okay? They put laws on the books for the chip.
Can I say too, so like you go into that word right there for grievances, the word that's trouble. So that proves that, yeah, those decrees right there is going to be the bridge to the time of Jacob's trouble. For all you guys out there, you Israelite youth out there who you vehemently come up against that idea, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You're saying that this, like,
But now they teach it. Now they say,
cut.
yeah, now you want to backtrack and say,
Yes.
see?
But you got
Gotta get it
scoundrels out there who don't believe that. Oh, because I had a guy to come on the coming board and say that. He came across,
Yeah, some
you know, he came across passive. Yeah, he said, yeah, but you don't think, brother, that we done been through enough? You don't think that was... No, man. The time of Jacob's trouble is coming. We're on the verge of that. Yeah. So, yeah, because you got guys that like to say that the time of Jacob's trouble, we came over here on those cargo ships. No. Yeah, it's going to climax, man. Right? They didn't have mechanical dogs.
Darker dogs.
They didn't have no shit. Like, they have sensitive.
They have drones.
Yeah, that motherfucker drop a box off in your neighborhood and a transformer, he come out.
Transformer come out with goddamn looking like something.
Optimus Prime.
Prime and shit.
Yeah, motherfucker, he's scanning, know where you're.
And then, like
Terminator, motherfucker.
when you read the scripture about Jacob's trouble, it says that what's going to happen has never been seen in the earth.
Yep.
Slavery's been happening since the beginning of time. You know, but we had our time in the curses to go under chattel slavery. But slavery was always being that we had. So this time that's going to happen, it's going to be like unlike any other time.
Yeah, a lot of these devils got mechanical bees. They got all kind of stuff. And a lot of these things you be thinking insects swarming around.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, these devils be having all kind of little machinery out here, man. And that shit just be staying around your business. I got demons on it, man. Fucking remote control. You watch a lot of stuff on TV, and that's what, you know, a lot of people be bugged out. They think it's just entertainment. Oh, yeah, this, you know, something that's, you know, in the future. Nah, this is stuff that's going on right now. These devils, these multi-billionaires, you think they're just sitting back collecting billions? Nah, they're investing. They're putting it towards trial runs. And you got certain people that sign up, and a lot of people get kidnapped too. These sex trafficking rings and all these different rings, they don't just always take these people and use them for sex, man. They use them to experiment on.
Yeah.
They do trial runs. They give certain things in their body. They see how their you know, body reacts to it, because they're looking to really turn you into a cyborg, man, half man, half machine. Because with that technology, when you got technology lodged in you, especially within your brain waves, you know, in certain parts of your body, there's nothing for this devil to remote control your ass, man. Yeah. And that's the point that he's really trying to get to the point where you have no free, going back to that nanny state, no free will, no free choice, no free access to the spirit of the Lord. Someone, brother had a precept.
Well, in Sodom 2 and verse 11, 2 and verse 10, it says, let us oppress the poor and righteous men. Let us not spare the widow. No rebel, ancient or heirs of the age.
That's how they think. That's the mind state of the elite. They don't care about the people. First of all, why would you not persecute the poor? Because who cares about them? You know, Scripture says that we're hidden ones. You know, nobody really cares about those Negroes in the ghetto. Let's go ahead and put guns and drugs and put all kinds of poison into their whole little neighborhoods and their communities. You know, so what? It's a let us oppress the poor righteous man, but really we may be poor, but we're the righteous. We're the ones that the Lord is going to come back and save. Who needs saving?
Us.
All right, the Chinese man don't need saving.
Hell nah.
He's neck and neck with Esau trying to take over the world. Okay? He got his hands all in Africa.
Oh yeah.
You know, economic wise and labor wise and things like that. All right? The damn show's not talking about the European white man or the Asian white or whoever. All right? That's talking about us. And our people wherever they scattered at.
Yeah.
You know? You got it out.
It says, let our strength be in the law of justice, for that which is feeble is found to be nothing worth.
Right. They don't see no worth in us. They don't see no worth in actually giving us something to profit on. Okay? That's why none of these leaders that they set up, they got millions and billions of dollars, actually do nothing for our people.
Shit for the community.
Okay? Because it's not, all this one, why would they embolden the people, the very people that they know that the Lord is for? You're not going to help your enemy. You're going to keep your enemy down.
Keep your enemy down. And that's how they oppress, man. When these devils, Columbus, the Spanish conquistadors, the French, the Portuguese, the Dutch, none of them came in a spirit of trying to help build up the Gadites. All of them wanted to kill the Gadites and steal their land. Now fast forwarding up to this point now all devils is for us. It don't work like that, man. And then we understand the concept of reincarnation. These devils have the same spirits, and the children have the same blood as their forefathers. That's why you look at these little devils, you're like, man, if your ass had a couple $1 million, you know you'd be oppressing niggas, man. But just because you getting the ass end of the stick, now you want to be with Jake. Like you'll see these, like back then, the civil rights movement, and that's what messed up the mind of a lot of Jakes. You'll see a white man on the side of Jake. Like, man, you know what? Some. Someone was Jake's anyways. But the ones that wasn't them, man, they just rocking Jake to sleep, man. They're just doing certain things so that they can actually get rights because they know they're in the same boat as Jake. You want that?
It says, therefore let us not wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn.
Yeah, and that's the mindset of a predator, man. All these devils are predators, and they like to throw that label out there. That's a sick predator. This devil is a predator, and he's not any predator. He's the apex predator, man. You look at movies like Alien vs. Predator, or you'll see Predator movies. That Predator, that was a bad mother effer, man. You know, he had the gear to that big ass cannon. He'll hunt your ass down. It ain't no getting away from the Predator, man. He had that cloak, turn invisible.
You don't see the devil coming until he right up on you.
You don't see him, and that's how it was with Predator. You don't see him coming until he right up on your ass.
That's for certain.
Yep.
Sometimes, you don't know it was that till you
did. See, that's how you know it's him. Because what predator, what animal actually lies in wait like a snake? Mm-hmm. No other animal lies in wait like that. And a serpent can wait for hours,
patience,
weeks, patience, and then soon they catch what they need to catch. That's it.
A prime example. A lot of these executive orders that we be seeing pass, a lot of them shits, they had in the books 20, 30, 40 years ago, man. Just sitting dormant just for this time now.
But we still got legislation. We still got, I think, if I remember correctly, there's over like 60 executive orders that's been in place since the 70s, since Nixon, going to right after right in the midst of the Vietnam War. Because that was a big distraction there, going on at that time, up until the 90s, up until this point. There's all kinds of executive orders that are in place, just waiting for a reason to be activated.
For a reason,
you know.
It says, because he is not for our turn, he is clean, contrary to our doing.
Yeah. And can I say, that's when you go into that, that's talking about this time. This is the time when they were assessing us. That's Psalm 37. And the Lord said he will prepare a table before our enemies. Okay? So right now, the Lord has thrust us into the public eye. That's 1 Corinthians the 4th chapter as well. We have been made respected. Like the brother said, who assessing us? Esau, man. This man, he watched everything. He break down every little down to the molecule.
Man, you type certain things in on Google, you're like, how the hell these devils figure this shit? Fuck, man. Weird, and it'd be like weird studies and shit.
Yeah.
You know, He saw me like, he knows that the size of the average man's penis and shit. Like, how the fuck you know that shit, bro? You know, I ain't saying I looked it up, but you, any imagination, this devil, you know, most black women, they'll have this size titties, you know. The average, you know, black man can be at 18, he's from 5'7" to 5. How the hell you know this shit, man? You know, that's the devil for you. And they don't study these things just to give you information, just so that you could be enlightened, man. They're the enlightened ones to keep you in darkness. That's why when you look on the back of your dollar bill, you'll see that NWO. You'll see that pyramid with the cap, the all-seeing eye, and you see it's separated from the rest of the bricks. That represent them devils being on an elevated plane, on a higher level, to the point you can't get to. That's why it's a dividing line from classes. That's that Elysium. That's that rank, man. And like the priest was bringing out the movie Elysium for brothers that didn't watch. That's a damn good movie, man. You see how everybody was all jacked up because with that movie, you had what was the main actor? I forget his name. He played a lot. Matt Damon. Matt Damon was if I'm not mistaken, he was an Israelite in that movie, and that was mainly dealing with the Southern Kingdom being oppressed and the elites. They lived in outer space, and you had to be of a particular echelon in order to really get up there. They had free healthcare. Yep.
He was going up there to
in them chambers.
Escape up there.
And escape up there, man. And these devils, that's why they're trying to invest, like Elon Musk. Their whole thing is what? Trying to get to Mars, man, or get to the moon. They're trying to do experiments on outer space. The NASA, you know, they're doing certain things, trying to find certain planets that's of a close proximity, trying to figure out ways to get there. You know, they're doing everything in their means to get this new world order off the ground and make sure that their seed line is preserved and make sure that your seed line dies off.
Right. And because if Esau can get to Mars, he's not going to send our people there. He's going to go there, and the elites are going to live on Mars while they continue to destroy Earth.
Yep.
And suck the life out of the people here. You know, because he knows that he can't sustain here. Here it is. He gonna mess up the whole Earth. All the air's messed up. He got to breathe the same air. He's definitely got to be like, nah, you know what? Let's go to a place where we can actually try to inhabit it. You know what I'm saying? And we can actually live good. But guess what? They're not going to live good there because it's not in their system, in their spirit, to actually do right. And Mars is a so-called rocky planet.
Yeah.
You know, according to that side. So let's say they could change. They're going to change it for the worse.
Change it for the worse. Like they do everything, man. America was changed for the worse. Yeah. So, some more on that.
This is Sirach chapter 12 and verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit.
And who is that? The enemy speaketh. Oh, and the scriptures acknowledge that you have an enemy. You got certain people that walk around that's high off that hippie life, man. Nah, there ain't no enemies, man. God is all love. But the Bible just speaks about the enemy, man. And the tactics of the enemy. Because what that is, that's strategy. If you understand strategy, and especially like military in the book of The Art of War, it said all warfare is based upon deception.
Yeah.
And who's the biggest deceiver? This devil. And we're in a constant battle. We're in the midst of war right now. You know? You in a war with your mind. You in a war with your body. Everything is a constant battle. Overseas, bombs is being let off. Palestine is. We in a war right now, man. And this devil is looking to what? Keep your mind jacked up with this television, you know, the stupid box, you know, with the false narratives on the media. Yeah, tell lie vision, you know, putting a vision out there, you know, to keep it jacked up. With those false images. Some more on that.
Because he will wink with his eyes.
He will wink with his eyes.
But if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood.
And he ain't satisfied with blood. Because if he was satisfied with blood, he would have stopped at the Gadites. He would have stopped at the transatlantic slave trade. You know? He would have stopped at all these different conquests on the North, Central, and South America. If you look at them Gadites, they getting jacked up by the vid, man. They still getting hit up. You know, they still, what was it, a couple years ago, they was trying to take the pipeline over there with the Gadites.
Yeah.
Like they said, on the pipeline. Like, damn, they already ain't got, you can't let them people through there, get a
They
little
live in
pipeline.
a cage on the res.
They live on the cage in the res. And then those reses, those should be worse than a lot of ghettos in the
Bro,
hood. They be drinking rubbing alcohol. You know, a lot of those Native American women, a lot of them be getting raped. You know, Esau be doing they be prostituted out, and you could tell they just bugged out, man, with no hope in the world. A lot of those Gadites don't know nothing about their heritage. Here it is a couple of 100 years ago, you know, whether it's the Navajo or the Chickasaw, whatever Native, a lot of them don't even know about those customs a few hundred years ago, man, because most of their tribes been wiped out, and this devil will never try to restore. Or what does it say? Isaiah 42 and 22, none saith restore.
Yeah.
Oh, you get that? Okay. Some more on that?
Good. It says, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. And though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine.
Like, say you got cancer, it's a lump. The lump is there, you know, to submit the fact that you got cancer. Man. That's why Scripture tell you, wherever his man dwell, he be known as the board of wickedness. Wherever Esau pitches tent, wickedness is short of father, man. You're going to find him there first. When you was hanging on him down, hanging from a rope, who was on the other end of it? It was Esau. Okay? Yeah. So wherever adversity, and that you're going to see the middle, when all hell break loose, you're going to see his military up close and personal. You're going to see him now first. Yep.
And you would think this devil would be merciful. Hey, prime example, what me and the priest was talking about, he was riding up here. He was like, now this devil just got the money to just give everybody $1,200 check. Why they didn't do that 40 acres in a, you know, everybody know about the 40 acres in a mule. Esau,
That's damn near all of them.
Yeah. Esau had the money. He's always had reserves, trillions of dollars just put away. And all this stuff goes back even to slavery, man. All that slave labor where Jakes wasn't getting paid shit. What was Esau doing? Vaulting all this money. Then you had all these different confiscation, like you had the Gold Confiscation Act, where they was confiscating all this gold, confiscating all this silver, stripping Jekyll Island. They was stripping all these resources from our people and just tucking it away. And then you'll see certain things like this pandemic take place, and you see now this now he got money to just give it away. He been at it, man.
That's because he make it out of thin air. And the only reason why he's making it out of thin air is because the more money that's out there, the less value of the dollar. There's going to be hyperinflation, global collapse. You can come back and steal even more resources. And now you even in a worse position than you were from the beginning.
That's how he do.
That's all systematic. He's not doing it for no reason.
And we on your ass, Esau. You know, it tells you that in the book of Obadiah, how the hidden things of Esau searched out by the prophets doing their research. We going back, man. Going back to your past, because we know who you is. Going all the way back to the genesis of things, man. That serpent, Esau, all right? You know, that snake in the garden that was about the deception, that's the same man that's ruling over us now, man. So yeah, you bring that, matter of fact, get that Daniel 8:25. You get that Job 20 and 4.
I'll bring that real quick.
Okay, you got it.
This is 2 Thessalonians 2 and 7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way. And the mystery of iniquity, the mystery of all the sin of the earth, that's been shown and revealed to be Esau. Okay? But the Lord is letting him do it, letting his pride build up. He's letting this society collapse. He's letting him try to bring in everybody as one in order for him to actually take them out of the way.
Yeah, this devil knows how to move mystically, man. If you watch X-Men and you see Mystique, she know how to. She's a shapeshifter. Mm-hmm. You know, she might kill somebody in kill one of the mayors or the prime ministers, and she just slide in his place. Yeah, she got the same speech. She know his mannerisms. Like she moves like she's the actual prime minister. She turned into him. This devil, he moves the same way, and that's why a lot of Jakes, you know, be thinking a lot of these, you know, the devils be for our best interests. You know, they'll, oh yeah, I listen to Tupac. I listen to, man, look, man. These devils study us and try to relate to us to get our asses, man, so they can get close enough to hit you with that dagger, man.
And that's what Kamala Harris said. I love Tupac.
Then you ask what's her favorite song.
Her favorite song of that shit. Anyway, this is verse 8. It says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
That's that veil that's being pulled out, pulled back. Isaiah the 25th chapter, the 7th verse. It speaks about the cover and cast of all people being pulled back. You know, and we pulled it back through the spirit of power, starting off with the apostles and the elders, you know, with everybody. We figured out we ain't niggas, spicks, and wetbacks. We the chosen tribes of the nation of Israel. From Judah all the way down to Issachar, you know. We figured out that the Elamites aren't actually, or the East Indians aren't Indians, they're actually Elamites. We figured out all those, that the 18 nations, man. And you so-called white people aren't white. You're Edomites. And they showed you that in the movie, what was that? Malcolm X. I think when he was in jail, if I'm not mistaken, he started getting into them books and he started really studying. He started getting down with the Nation of Islam, and then dude was waking him up, and he showed the definition of white. White, we were saying the definition was white was pure, void of judgment, all these different things that was just equal, you know, the essence of cleanliness. And then when you look up black, what was it? Void of light, dark, evil, wicked. When they had black magic, they had the example, you know, like in the definitions, they had i.e. given black magic, and then you see the opposite of white magic, which is like the pure magic to oppose that dark magic. So that's how Esau plays on the thoughts of the people, and we've been psychologically traumatized, man. You look in the mirror and you see, oh man, I got, you know, most people have big lips, a big nose, and you buy into that bullshit, man.
Right. You believe it's something that's supposed to be looked down upon, when really those are the features that the Heavenly Father has. But he's not going to tell you that. You know, like Esau paints this picture of God and his son looking like, I mean, just name a famous actor. Yeah, like that. You know? But that's nothing, that Lord looks nothing like that. Okay, he looks nothing like that, and that's based upon the record of the scriptures. But they put our people in a position of, like I said, looking down upon ourselves. So when they come down, oh well, we're niggas anyway.
But hey,
you know?
they had like an experiment with this little girl, the Jake girl. They had the dog. Y'all saw that? Yeah. They had the white dog. They had the black, so-called black dog, and they chose the white dog. Like the brother wanted to. It's a psychological play, man. You know, with these devils. But hey, when you look at it from kingdom lenses, that what Esau's supposed to. Yeah, this is his kingdom, man. You know, he ain't gonna tell you, you know what, I beat your ass, I put you in captivity, you're down trying to, based upon me. By the way, the God who created everything, he look like you. They can't do that. There's gonna be a conflict of interest. So the Lord snapped him with that. That proved that we was meant to rule, man. Because, because if any other nation ruled, then that would be a schism right there, because you know, our power is in the heavens, so how you gonna have somebody in between that? That's why all these other kingdoms are temporary. They all rose and fell out of power. The only kingdom that's said to be perpetual is the kingdom of heaven, because that's going to be a direct connection to the heavens, man.
That's right.
You know, that's a family. That's a promise to, you know, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. So through Isaac, the nations will be blessed, man.
That's right.
So the rulership by default have to come to us, man. So Esau really out of place.
He out of place.
You know?
He know he out of place.
Yeah,
He's subhuman. He's not even a human. The word human, you is a man of color. He doesn't qualify for a human.
That's it.
That's why he does things that's inhumane. All his acts, it doesn't act. You know, he doesn't have acts of kindness. It tells you in the book of Proverbs, the tender mercies of the wicked are evil. He tries to do things, and it seems like it's for your, you know, the favor of our people. But then on the back end, see, you might get certain things on the front end, like, yeah, this stuff, we looking out, you know, we looking out for our people now, you know. Man, a couple of years later, be traumatized. Everything be jacked up. It was an example of, like, the Olympics. You know, they'll show before and after. I seen this on the tube. We're going to get back into the scriptures. But they showed the Olympics before and after. They'll show everybody coming to the Olympics. It looked like a beautiful event. Yeah, Brazil and a lot of these different countries, they'll have the Olympics. Everybody goes to the Olympics. Everything look all hunky-dory. It look like a parade. Everybody's having a fun time. A couple years after, the whole city be collapsed. Man.
What happened to Atlanta? The 96 Olympics came to Atlanta. Right after that, you can see everything around that whole neighborhood. They had to actually literally tear it down and build it back up, and now that's where the Falcons play now. Okay, but anywhere that so-called white man goes, he destroys it. And that's just a fact. He can go to any country. If you look at Beijing and Hong Kong, them Moabites were over there with farmers and growing rice, and they have their own customs and way of life. Right? They have their own way of life, but now Beijing and Hong Kong is one of the most polluted cities on the earth because of the factories and the commerce and the money that Esau pushed there. The money that Esau pushed there. You know? Yeah, I'll read this. It says, it says, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming.
It starts right now. We represent the spirit of the Lord's mouth, pushing his work, these prophecies out on these four corners, man. And we're destroying kingdoms. We're deconstructing everything that this devil has put up, tearing down these strongholds, you know, destroying the concept of these holidays, all the lies and the deception, witchcraft and sorcery that this man has erected all over the face of the earth. We're tearing it down just by the word of truth, man. That's why you see the vibration is being stripped from this place, man. These holidays ain't the same no more. You know, it doesn't pack the punch that it used to back in the day, because a lot of people in the back of their mind, they heard this word, and they know that it makes it when you really can't celebrate it, doesn't feel the same way, because you see through it. Just like a magician. You know, back then they had David Blaine and Chris Angel. You know, you'd be all bedazzled if you'll see the little, you know, you see the sleight of the hand of these different tricks. But then when you actually study it, you're like, man, I know how this motherfucker did it. And then you can't really watch it no more. You can't really watch you can't watch the magic acts and really react the same way when you really see through it. You're like, oh, that's all smoke and mirrors. That's what it's called. It's smoke and mirrors. And we see that this system is all smoke and mirrors.
It's all fraud and corruption. It says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders.
Whose coming is after the workings of Satan? We know that Satan is a spiritual demon that works on the left-hand side, but whose coming is after the working is a physical act. All right? This devil puts in work on the face of the earth, you know, trying and land, you know, tearing down South America, Central America, North America, Africa, Asia, you know. That's the so-called white man. That's why nobody's conquered more land than this white man. If you look up they said Britain conquered like what, 90%? They invaded like 90% of the world. You know, I think the brothers always brought that point out, how America invaded over 66 countries after World War II, man. This devil don't sit down, man. Like, y'all, we done had enough. We done robbed the shit out of the world. Let's just chill, man. Let's retire. They like, nah, bro. We finna take this thing to the moon.
There's something great.
Yeah. Oh, that's it.
The great talk about the horse meat. So they said, yeah, men gonna say, give. Esau, the so-called white man, is the curse that has devoured the earth. That's that flame and fire, you know, that has consumed everybody, man. When you put some in your hand, you know, you engulf it. That's nothing more than a fulfillment of biblical prophecy. Job, the 9th chapter, 24th verse. That's what we found out, right? Everything, this shadow, like the brother brought out, that veil, is because it's in Esau's hand. This nigga, you know, everything he puts forth is traumatizing, man. You know, it's a blow. Okay? That's why Jake all bugged out. You know, the people.
Eve all jacked up in the world. Women can't get right on his side.
He'll put a foot on you. Having a bad day. Jake ran out of favorite series.
That's something.
Yeah, like, come on.
It's like his Habakkuk chapter 2 in verse 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, also, because he transgressed by wine.
We're talking about. Let's not talking about that figment of your imagination. The so-called white man through his Greek mythology, he packaged and presented to you the devil. That's not in the scriptures, man. The devil that the Bible speaks of, the so-called white man. Okay? And you ain't got to go into any in-depth analysis or breakdown. Just take a glimpse into his, look at the retrospect. What have the so-called white man brought to the table that's constructive, man? Everything is destructive. It's got access to Fago. That's the creation of the so-called white man. Go ahead,
He said, yeah, also, because he transgressed by wine.
Yep, his philosophy. Go ahead.
He is a proud man.
He is what?
A proud man.
Yeah, he is a proud man. That word is attached to Esau, man. That's associated, that aligns with the so-called white man. Let's run it down. You got Pride Month. This is the most powerful book on the planet Earth. You got gay pride, which consists of
Well, now, is it June Pride Month?
Yeah.
June is Pride Month. Yeah.
Oh, what's with the Marines? The few, the proud,
The Marines.
the proud to be an American.
Proud to be an
See
American.
that? The proud boy.
Proud boys.
See, that's the scriptures giving you an accurate assessment of the devil, man. Okay, go ahead.
He is a proud man.
See, here's a proud man. Go ahead.
Neither keep him at home.
Neither keep it back home. Like the brothers say, they conquer, man. All right, this man have over, 800 military bases scattered throughout the world. You got U.S. embassies. The fingerprint of the so-called white man is all over the planet Earth. You got a McDonald's somewhere out there, man. See? Go ahead.
It says,
Somebody get that to a proper assessment. Go ahead.
it says, who enlarged his desire as hell.
Oh, he enlarged his desire as hell. Go ahead. Yeah, that's that pick. Give me that, the last death. I mean, the last enemy.
Yeah. And you know why I said he enlarged his desire as hell?
Mhm.
Because the grave, grave of death, right? Because that's what hell is. Hell is just dying in the grave, right? Millions of people die every day.
Mhm.
People are born every day. Like, there's no limit to how many people can die on the earth. When you die, you go back to the earth. The spirit goes back to the Lord. So that's the desire of the so-called white man. He wants to control everything. He wants to control you, your family, your children, your bank account, the food you eat, your health, your diet, your mentality. He wants a total control of everything under the heaven. So his desire is to get that. Okay?
And that's the system. The word system means the pit.
The pit, yeah.
The word hell, when you look it up, that's Sheol or Shawal, which is the grave of the pit. We're living in, this is hell.
It's the pit.
So what they say, everybody knows that the white man's heaven is the so-called black man's hell, man.
Yeah, because we go into a pit or a valley, it's a low land. This is a place of low statues, man.
Belly of the beast.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Belly of the beast.
The hindermost parts of the nations, man. Right? They actually promote everything that's contrary to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh by Shema Shah. All right, yep, come on. Yeah, get that Corinthians first. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, this is 1 Corinthians 15 and 26.
Go ahead.
The last enemy that shall be destroyed is death.
See, the last enemy that should be destroyed is death. That's dealing with the so-called white man. Let's cool that. Go back to heaven.
Habakkuk 2 and 5, it said, yeah, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man.
See, go ahead.
Neither keep it at home,
Uh-huh.
who enlargeth his desire as hell,
Go ahead.
and is as death.
See, so-called white man is as death. Everything you touch, it kills you. All right? For an example, this carbon monoxide, yeah, you can smell it now. So you got chemtrails in the air, or you got fast food restaurants. Which, yeah, it's a bunch of, that hope, you know what I'm saying? Nigga supposed to be a tight end, man.
Well, look, I mean, shit, he can't even, I mean, he's just deaf because you can't even get pulled over without a bullet getting put in you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your tail light out, or your tag might be expired, and that don't turn into a damn homicide.
Yep.
Because he's just deaf.
Yeah. He is as deaf. Like, everything here in America is fraught with danger, man. This that valley of the shadow of death.
Valley of the shadow of death.
Okay, danger lurks at every turn. Hey, even when if you go to the word restaurant, that word go back to restore. You're supposed to be restored when you eat. You go there, you go to sleep, yeah. You finish, yeah. You break down, man.
Think about what's the purpose of a health food store? Why would you have a health food store if the food that you eat
It's supposed to be healthy.
is supposed to be
Why they got
concentrated?
non-GMO?
You know what I'm saying?
Why have non-GMO? Why you gotta warn me?
Right.
Everything should be in order, but you know what? That goes back to the humble beginning. That goes back to Genesis, the 4th chapter.
Why we taking supplements?
Yeah.
That's another example. What the hell is a supplement? It's supposed to be in the food. Hey, get my vitamin B6 and my 12 and my iron. It's supposed to already be in your food supply, man.
They'll tell you it's 100% juice. Why you gotta tell me this?
I thought it was juice.
Yeah.
I thought it was juice in the bottle.
It's supposed to come from the fruit or the grape or whatever you got. That's the 100%.
Then you look at the apple juice. You look at apple juice or the orange juice, whatever juice you buy. You turn on the ingredients. That shit got like 100.
Yeah. You can't even pronounce the shit. They just come up with some shit on the fly.
Words be big as hell.
Yeah.
I can't say this shit.
Yes.
Yeah, I got Z's and X's and that shit. Z's, X's, the last letters of the alphabet. Z's, X's, and B's.
Same shit in your Clorox. So for real. Yeah, go ahead.
God, this is the rock, chapter 39 and verse 25. For the good are good things created from the beginning, so evil things for sinners. The principal thing for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour, wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. All these things are for good to the godly, so to the sinners they are turned into evil.
Yeah, because Esau can take the same thing, you know, that was meant. Flipping and bouncing. Yeah. That's that yin and that yang. You know? Yeah.
Oh, it's multiple shots. Could you bring that person right back out? Because that's a lot of elements, man.
Yeah.
It's spiritual too.
Yes.
You go to the truth too.
That duality.
That's the duality, yeah.
This is Sirach, chapter 39 and 26. The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water.
Yep. Hey, Esau contaminated the water supply, man. You know, you drink this water, and you got all kind of barium, chloride. That's why you gotta have a water filter. What the hell is that? Water's supposed to already. Water has its natural filtration system. When water courses through, the rocks are supposed to clean the water, man. That's why you have trees and all these things. It naturally cleanses water. The next one, fire. Oh man, this you know what this devil use that fire for, man. Thermonuclear missiles for pure destruction. And fire can be a beautiful element used for building, man. You can use it for torching constructs, you know, cooking. You know, he uses that for energy heat. That's it.
It says iron and salt.
Oh, iron and salt.
Iron tools.
Iron
weapons.
Weaponry.
You might need to build an axle for a wagon. You know, to put a tire on. So you might need some iron there. You know.
This devil turns out, you know, he uses the iron as a weapon for destruction.
He made a sword out of it.
Yeah. Hell, I remember even dealing with this salt. I remember a brother had brought out table salt. They said it's mixed with glass, sand, and it's this one other element, man. That shit ain't real. That ain't salt.
Salt in water.
Salt in
That's the word.
Got salt in it.
All right, man. Talk to this brother.
Great.
You brought up the council. Because I slammed down in the center. Boom.
It says flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape.
And he basically turned all these things into toxins. That's why, like you said, certain things you'll take in your body, it has adverse effects. And then you'll what's the term? You have allergies with certain stuff, man. You have allergic reactions. Certain individuals can't, you know, have certain things in their system.
Like peanut allergies.
Peanut
You're not supposed to be allergic to peanuts. But the stuff in the factories and how they made, and the preservatives and stuff that's added to the peanuts, now you're allergic to peanuts because it's messing with because of the other chemicals in your system.
It says, you be damn near having to be like Bubble Boy in this damn system, man. You know, isolate. That's why Esau pushing that isolation. You don't get near 6 feet. You might get contaminated. You might got this and that. You know, when really you're supposed to be around individuals and getting actual germs on your body. You got healthy germs and even unhealthy germs help build up your immune system. But Esau just wants to keep you isolated, man. That kills you, man.
It says honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and oil and clothing. All these things are for good to the godly, so to the sinners they are turned into evil.
Yeah, and even this clothing, man, it's mixed fabric. You know, we're not supposed to be wearing mixed fabric. And everything has a spiritual vibration on it. That's why the Lord put these things and already outlined everything in the law for how we should, conduct ourselves. But you got it.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh,
Ezekiel 7, 5-7. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, and evil and only evil, behold, is come. And end is come, the end is come. It watcheth for thee, behold, it is come. The morning is come unto thee, O thou that dwellest in the land. The time is come, the day of trouble is near. and not the sounding again of the mountains.
Yeah, and what's the end that's coming? The end of this society. The end of America, the end of Esau ruling over Europe, the end of the Moabites and the Ammonites in cahoots with the Russians, with the Edomites, the end of Ham coming over here and thinking they're going to make money off of Jake. The end of all this heathen over us, that's come. Okay? This whole rulership is coming to an end. And just like the brother read about the morning, our time is coming. Those that dwell in the land. Who does the land belong to? The Israelites. Right? Just give me peace. Well, peace is coming to our people. Shalom is coming to our people. Peace, rulership, glory. Okay? Everything that we deserve is coming to us. But first, this devil has to be taken out of power. Okay?
Taken out of the way.
Yep.
Matter of fact, anybody hold something? You got something?
Yeah, just wanted to look at that first. Quick one, dealing with Esau still. Yeah, I saw this one on deck.
And that was the spirit, though.
That was the spirit.
She hollered like Shalom
Yeah.
as the brother would read going into the end. Yeah, because, peace, time of peace is coming. This was the end of Esau and his reign of terror, man. Everything set up in the spirit. That was like confirmation that we at the end. Because when really this is going to be a revival, just like you had the revival of the ancient Roman Empire. But it's going to be a revival of the rulership of Solomon. It's going to tell you how the kingdom was established in the hand of Solomon. So that's what we're about to go into again. And that's heavy. Like you have people, they want to go back to the glory days. Everybody had that spirit. Been in the flesh. You probably had a bad jump shot in high school.
Yeah, nostalgia spirit.
Yeah, you think that, kind of. You think that, like, damn, I can have them there. But guess what? The Lord going to allow us to have that again. We're going to have, the Lord going to bring back that time period.
Yeah, but we're going back even further to, like you said, to like how it was in time of King Solomon. But it's even going to be new for Yahushua being on the throne.
Yep.
That's going to create new great memories, new nostalgia.
Yes, new nostalgia. That's it. Yeah.
I really not going to be nostalgia because it's always going to be everlasting.
Yeah.
They're going to never go away.
Yeah, since you said that, I'm going to jump to this other precept. Revelation 21:1. And I saw a new heaven and a new earth.
Yeah. And that new heaven and new earth, that's not talking about the Lord going to scrap. Hey, because you got the average person, in their perception of heaven, right, in relation to the Bible, is where your grandma is. No, that heaven right there is concerning the rulers, those who are in power. The Lord says there's going to be a new rulership. Go ahead.
And I saw a new heaven and a new earth.
And by it being a new heaven, that's going to reflect a new earth. The reason why the earth is diminished and the reason why the earth is in a worst case scenario because of those who are in power. See? So by it being a new rulership, a new regime, if you will, then it's going to be a new earth. Yep.
For the first heaven and
it tells you that in Isaiah 60, I want to say, where the Lord said he will beautify the place of his feet. Yeah, that's dealing with the planet Earth. The heaven being his throne and the earth being his footstool. So the Lord said he's going to beautify this place again. Right? And that's going to be under the inhabitants. Oh, get that in Isaiah 24.
Yeah, it's going to go back to Genesis where it said, and then it was good. The word good in the Hebrew is tawab.
Yeah, beautiful. Matter of fact, real quick, give me that Isaiah 24. Because there's a contrast there. See, when we found out, this is simple. Hey, it's all plain to those who understand it. It's too extreme. We ain't got to worry about going into all these calculations. You have the good, you have the wicked. You have right, left, up, down, light, darkness. So right here, we speaking about the kingdom of heaven and how it's going to be, righteousness dwelling in the planet Earth. But let's go to the extreme, the far left extreme. Go ahead.
Isaiah 24.
Go to 4.
Isaiah 24:4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away.
See? So now the earth is mourning and fading away in its language. So go ahead.
It says, the world languisheth and fadeth away.
Yeah, that word language, when you go into it means to droop. Right? Yeah. It droop down. Yeah. It loses its luster and shine that it once said. Yeah.
Earth is depressed.
The earth is depressed because of Esau. Really, Esau is the counselor, man. That's why Ecclesiastes, the 10th chapter, say what? The physician is going to cut off this long disease, man.
But he's the virus.
Yeah, he's the virus.
Physician.
What?
It says,
you have the haughty in the same breath, the haughty people in the same breath with the languishing of the earth. What else do you want? That shows you what's the source. You know, what's generating the languishing of the planet earth. It's Esau. See? What?
It says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof.
Is defiled under the inhabitants thereof. Those who dwell here, those who occupy, you know, those who are in power. With this man at the helm, with this man in the driver's seat, the earth has been driven to nothing, man. Read that again.
The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof.
Right. Let's say if you're on a vegan diet or that's tainted because they spraying pesticides,
Herbicides.
yeah, or like that's what was going into last night. Yeah, yeah. But he the sword. He the sword. Everything he touched. Yeah, the homicide. Yeah. Like that's what we're going into though. Like even if you have alkaline baseball or whatever, it's in plastic. And let's just say if you pour it in a glass, you're still in America.
Yeah, so it
don't matter. You're under that shroud. You're under the shadow of death, man.
No, you have to have that water just transported to you and it be fresh when you open it up. That's chemicals on top of that. Right? Because that shit will leak through that motherfucking plastic, man.
You know, even when you get a receipt from the store, that's poison. Because the same thing that's in those plastic bottles is on those receipts. It's called a BPA, bisphosphonol A. And that stuff is very, very, extremely toxic, man.
That's why they have expiration dates. Other packages too, not just water. All the packages, a lot of the packages, that's not the expiration date. That's the expiration date. That's when the actual contaminants are likely to actually seep into the food and then get you sick.
Can I say something? I was burning a fire last night, and I got down eating. I was a plastic plate. I threw it in the fire. The whole fire just goes in flame. Showing that it's chemical.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of times, if you put a lot of stuff in the plastic, like plastic and stuff, in a certain fire, it'll turn green or another color.
Yeah, true. Another color.
Toxins.
Another color, yeah.
Toxins in the fire.
Toxins, yeah.
It's chemical.
Plastic, it don't break down either.
Isaiah 24:5, it says, the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof.
Yeah, see, under the inhabitants thereof. Okay? So those who are in power, which is the so-called white man, you can't refute that, right? They're the ones who contributed to the state of the planet Earth. The current state of the planet Earth is based upon those who are in power, man. Straight up, the scripture gonna tell you why. That's the case, boy.
Because
boy,
they have transgressed the laws.
they have transgressed the laws. There's laws. For an example, you have to till the land for a certain amount of time, then you have to let it rest, man. Esau being driven, this sick, craves. Well, Obadiah, would thou have left some grapes? This man is driven by greed, riches. Yeah, that's it. His desires, yeah. That's our fire. Fire is raging. You have to put that out. You have to, if not, it'll rage on. See? Go ahead. It's not enough. Yep, go ahead.
It says, because they have transgressed the laws.
Right, this man transgressed the law. Okay, he blatantly goes up against the laws, that the commandments of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Right? Go ahead.
Changed the ordinance.
He changed the ordinance. Go ahead. Everything is upside down under the watch of the so-called white man. Straight up, man. There's no way around it. You got women out of order. Yeah, women over men.
Children over men.
Children over men. Hey, I saw. Homo
over a straight man.
Yeah.
What kind of shit is that? Because a lot of these moles, they get the best jobs in America, man.
Yeah.
Moles run the world.
Yeah. Oh yeah. These trans, you got to be careful what you say.
Yeah.
Like Trans Am.
And then they got us shook up.
That's what I'm saying. But that proves right there that the so-called white man is for wickedness, man. He protects. Yeah, you can't just call it what it is, man. You offend the so-called white man by calling out wickedness.
He's not even over here. He's not even around here.
Yeah. Well, he's watching, They talk about how the leopard can watch over the city. Yeah, that's this nigga. Even this apparatus that we going through. You got YouTube guidelines. This man monitoring us, man.
Striking us.
Hey, you got to pay, man. He still got to pay for that because not only did he go up against the law, for an example, Leviticus the 20th chapter, the 13th verse, he stepped in and protected. The Lord said, put them to death.
Right.
He protected them.
He protected
You
them.
know?
Yeah.
So that means you wage war against your house shot.
And the crazy shit is, you got fucking trans. You got a man that can turn into a woman. That motherfucker have sex with straight men, and you can't even charge. You can't charge. You can't take the individual like that to court, right? Because it's legal. Because it's legal, and you got to respect their body.
Respect their truth.
What kind of shit is that, man? You can't do nothing against it. But if you touch a woman the wrong way, they say you whistling at a woman in a certain city, hollering at a woman, they damn near finna throw you in a slammer, man.
Well, that's what happened to Emmett Till.
Yeah.
He got a lot on about that, and then see what happened to him.
He just turn right around and give homos rights.
For that alone, this place is going to be destroyed.
This is Isaiah 29:16. Surely you're turning things upside down.
Yep.
Shall be esteemed as the polished clay.
Yep. So-called white man turn everything upside down. Okay, go ahead.
For shall the work say of him that made it, he made it not.
Yeah, and that's what Esau say. For an example, the Big Bang Theory. That's the form this man said, you made me not. Going to a well thought out
Darwinism.
Yeah, presentation. A presentation of how the earth was created through a damn ball of gas. You saying to the one that made you made me not. Go ahead.
Or shall the thing framed it say of him that framed it, he had no understanding.
Right, yeah. For an example, you think about the laws. Okay, you saying that the law have no understanding when he say that a man have authority over women, or men shall lie with men. You saying the thing framed, had no understanding. So when you come up against the law, statutes, and commandments of your how about shots, you saying that the Heavenly Father himself had no understanding.
They're saying he was wrong.
Yeah.
And you right.
And you gonna get it right.
You gonna fix it. The one that didn't make it, and the one that didn't bring the elements together to make your red ass.
Yes.
You thinking that's why Scripture say that?
Yeah.
That's why he puts out in this system. Oh, the Heavenly Father didn't create the earth.
Yeah.
It was a big bang, and everybody came out of nowhere. We went from goddamn. First of all, we went from fish to lizards to rats to monkeys to big monkeys that walked on 2 feet, and now we're people.
And then all this shit is around us.
Wait, hold on. First we have to be Esau first. We have to be Neanderthals and cavemen first. Then we evolved into different nations. So we have to go through the process of being the Afro-Edomite, the cavemen. Now we're everybody.
And a quick point, a cut for that evolution shit. Why is it first off gorillas walking around and monkeys, and then you never see a gorilla in its evolutionary transition? Here it is, you got the humans, and then you got gorillas. You should have some type of middle line where the gorillas is actually turning into a fucking human if evolution is actually reality.
You don't see gorillas and monkeys bringing forth human babies. Are you damn sure? Unless you, Esau probably did. But you don't see Edomites and, you don't see people and apes getting together and making half people have ape babies. Because it's not compatible. Scripture says that all flesh is not the same flesh. It's not the same flesh.
One a beast, one of a man.
Yeah, each one a man, each bird. Yeah.
I got some real quick good thing.
This is Isaiah 32:6. For the vile person will speak bitterly, and his heart will work iniquity.
Yeah, the vile person, man. Yeah. So that proves right there there's not some entity, which again, that goes back to Greek mythology. This idea of a devil underground. The devil is the powers that be, man, which would be the so-called white man. The so-called white man is the power. He's responsible for everything that's taking place now. You can't blame nobody else. Like, for an example, pork. Why is pork on the menu when that's against the scripture? Shrimp, lobster. You can't say, well, no, that's your right. Nope, that's a lie, because if I wanted to plant my own food, I'm going to go against the restrictions of who? Esau.
You're right.
So there's no way around it. See, go ahead.
You said, for the vile
then
person.
you might have them say, well, hold up. You kill each other, you people in your gangs, Crips and Bloods. But what about World War I, World War II? That was white on white crime on a global scale, man.
What about the so-called civil
war?
war?
The Civil War, the bloodiest war.
There's nothing civil about. There's nothing civil about war. War is
but they'll look at us like we animals and beasts. You walk in the restaurant, they look at you like you crazy. And through their media, they set us up as, you know. Now we're not excusing the people on this side. They're a bunch of beasts too, man. But they do contribute to that thought. But overall, it pales in comparison to what the so-called white man has done. See? Well, the scriptures say that. Wisdom of Solomon, 2 Timothy. We're clean, we're clean contrary to their doing. You signed off on homosexual. Think about it. If this man was to continue to rule, it would be no more life. Good, huh?
What they're saying with people that getting jabbed is destroying their reproductive system.
Whoa.
You know? Now it's getting harder and harder to reproduce. And you think that that's coincidental, so to speak? There ain't no coincidences. When they create these different chemicals in these laboratories, they deliberately design them to destroy and break down your body in an accelerated pace.
Yeah, that's a great point. Everything this man do is to cut off life. That's all. That's his very being. That's his very existence. That's why he's known as the sword. You know. Matter of fact, give me that proverb real quick.
This Proverbs 6, in verse start at verse 16.
Yep, that's it.
It said, "These 6 things that the Lord hates."
Right. So now we're gonna get into it. The scripture say the Lord actually hates. Right. Let's find out what he hates. Go ahead.
Yeah, 7 are an abomination unto him.
Now we go into that number 7 in the scriptures. That it represented is complete. Yeah. Yep. Yep. That's right. Numerology has some symbolism to it. So 7 means what? Completion, like the brother said. Go ahead.
A proud look.
A what?
A proud look.
Yeah, and that goes with the so-called white man. He's proud. He feels as if he's the only one, you know, that, like you have, like this Gates guy. Yeah, entitlement. That civilizing the whole world mentality.
What's that term?
Savages, because they put that on the natives.
I was saying in America, they had the term manifest destiny.
Yeah.
You know, they said it was their destiny to manifest. It was their God-given right to rape, rob, and murder, butcher the Native Americans, Seminole Indians, you know, so-called Latin tribes. They said that was their God-given right to rob them, and then they passed papal bulls, man, which is legislation from the popes, man, the papacy. They would pass papal bulls to have more right and decree. That's the wicked decrees.
Wicked decrees.
To actually pillage the land.
Yep. When you go into the Indian Movement Act of 19... Yeah? You say something?
No, I was just saying that it also got to where anything that's found, it belongs to the Spanish crown.
Yeah.
That's why they were transporting slaves, gold, rum, food, animals back and forth, because they said, who found it? We discovered it. That belongs to us. Meanwhile, it's a whole, like, let's say, what if, we got a whole society here in America. What if China did come over here and say, you know what, we discovered this, let's take this back to Hong Kong, and all y'all gonna go in the ghetto and reservation. Okay?
Yeah, that would be offensive to you.
That would be offensive to the people that live here in America, right? Well, that's exactly what they did. But guess what? They're gonna get it anyway. They're gonna get it anyway.
But that's now you came up, you set the narrative that this land was just, no one was here. What you about to say, the Indian Removal Act? Oh yeah, the Indian Removal Act in 1920. You had squatters. That damn Edomites, you look up this band of Edomites, and they said they felt that this should be their land. And Jackson signed off on it, man. He pushed all the natives out, starting back in the southeastern region, all the way back west, man. You had the Trail of Tears. That was the so-called white man did that. You can't get mad. Devils, they get mad looking at you like we going on. Now here it is, you beat me with a belt, and I can say, no, stop. And you tell me to shut up.
I learned this in your school.
Man. The so-called white people got a lot to pay for. That's why the Lord stirring up the nations. World War III is brewing. That's biblical prophecy. It's foretold that the Lord is going to overthrow America in a violent overthrow in World War III. And what's going to happen after that? The people that you took captive, we're going to round you up and take you into slavery. Yeah, come on.
This is Psalms 55 and 20. He has put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him.
Read that again.
Psalms 55, verse 20. He
Columbus, when he wrote his memoirs, he said he couldn't put his sword down for 1 hour, man. He killed up to 1 million natives a year in a 4-year campaign. That's what the scripture's saying. Read that again.
God, Psalms 55 and 20. He has put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him.
Yeah, the natives was at peace with them devils. After they brought that, they took that voyage over here, the natives nursed them back to health, man. Yeah. And them devils turned right around, and Christopher Columbus sent back a report back to who that was, Ferdinand and Isabella, that we could take these people. Yeah, cut.
Yeah. Like you said, boy, you should go back as a gift.
Yeah.
They paraded them to
oh, that's that Revelation. They should send gifts. Is that the one Revelation? Yeah. They should send gifts one to one another.
And I was just to add, I think it was one of the Christopher Columbus memoirs, where Christopher Columbus himself said that the Native Americans was a peaceable people, one. And then there was another one where he said that he couldn't put down the sword for a minute.
Yeah, for a minute, yeah.
So here it is, they're peaceful people. See, here it is, these are good people. And he's just butchering the shit out of them.
But yeah, in those memoirs, he said that they had, they was using canes, sugar canes as weapons, man. So they didn't have iron swords. So he sent that back in the report. He said, with 500 men, we can take them, man. That's so the mentality of the so-called white men. After they nurse you back to health, you send back a report, we can take these natives with 500 men.
If I can just add that's the parable with the brothers heard the story with the snake.
Oh yeah, the story.
That's the story. You know, brothers, and the man that nursed that snake up to health, and then after he nursed the snake bit him, man. And he was like, "Why the hell you bit me? I done nursed you. I done I gave you medicine. I done healed your wounds." And what did the snake say? The snake said, "He said, I'm a snake. I'm a fucking snake.
Yeah,
I'm a serpent.
I'm
I'm a snake.
That's a parable, of course, but you know.
That's why the scripture says, "Who shall pity a child
Woo.
as he eaten by a serpent?" Woo. Because that's what happened. Right. But that's what happened to our people. You want to nurse, you want to teach this man thing, bring him back because he had certain things he didn't have. He might have had gold, and also too what Esau did was because Gad was warned against one another, and the natives was warned against one another in the different tribes. They would actually ally with one tribe.
Oh yeah.
And say, if you help us, we'll help you take down the next tribe for your people. And then, eject his people. So we're going to honor our word, so now I'm going to help you out. But guess what? Then you end up stabbing me in the back. And then when the next war comes, he's going to help the next tribe out. And there was no war. So the whole time, he's sitting in the middle, pitting the tribes against one another that they already had going on. And then he's going to stand back and then step in and say, "This is mine."
Yeah.
That's the devil for you, man.
I got some real quick. Salaki. Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest
Yeah,
treacherously.
see, when you look back at retrospect, you put all this together. That only can line up to one people, man. Esau, on a global scale, this man spoiled everybody, even to this very day. You don't hear about all the skirmishes that break out throughout the world. His media not going to tell you everything. This man constantly conquering, man, putting people down. All right? Yeah, that's it. Hey, he's utilizing that blessing, man. It's the only way he can go about doing things. It can't be diplomatically with him. Because it's part of his makeup. It's woven in his very DNA to approach whatever situation with that sword.
Well, because he's another manner of people. Yeah. That's what was prophesied in They got two manner of people. His manner is of a manner. Like you got behavior and mannerism and characteristics.
Yeah,
his go-to characteristic and mannerism is to be against righteousness. It's like we're against wickedness. So we're bound to clash.
That's it right there. That's a crooked serpent right there.
You can't make a crooked mistake.
Yeah.
Go quick. We'll go back.
No, I just.
This is Job 24:1. Why seeing times are not hidden from the Almighty, do they that know him not see his days? Some remove the landmarks, they violently take away flocks and feed thereof.
Yeah, come on. Who can that be talking about? So-called white man. This man removed the landmarks, Indian Removal Act. The word removing in there.
That's in the law, removing out your neighbor's
Yeah,
land.
yeah. You don't have to do that.
Although Esau is not
that's wicked as all hell, man. You got a stake for your yard that, nigga, if you ain't looking, he move it back. That's some wicked.
right.
Yeah. Rob you dry. And then that Indian Removal Act, you'll see these documentaries. You know, it was children on that women that was pregnant. It was dropping dead. It was cold as hell. Yeah, old men. You know, it was the Trail of Tears. You know, they was crying every woman going up there. And then the devil's like, man, you know, that's fucked up, man. You know, we got these people, we don't stole their land. No, they like, we're gonna keep conquering. We're gonna keep butchering these.
So now the Indian killer say, that's how he got his name.
Oh, the Indian killer, yeah.
Yeah, it's like they during the Trail of Tears, they also gave the natives smallpox infected blankets, right? So not only the cold was plaguing our people, but the smallpox in the blankets was killing our people.
Oh, if he do it good. If he do it good, it's unwilling. So he said, I'm going to help you out, y'all shivering cold, but I'm going to put smallpox in the blankets, man.
He released biological warfare.
Yeah, well, that proved that this that same devil.
It's the same devil, but the jab is not biological warfare. Our people are about to see who the devil is, and right now, the face of the devil is Biden. That's the face, the corporate face right now. But everything that's dealing with the rulership of the society, whether it be America, Europe, or overseas, we're going to see that these devils about to come down, man.
Hey, they said when you go into that word, Joe Biden, Joseph, that means add. They said add constraint. The word Joe, add constraint, add constraint.
It's bread in them.
Yeah, no, the Lord set them up, you know, to further and advance the things written in the scripture, man. Everything's gonna come to pass. Don't give a damn if you believe or not. All right, you gonna make a point? Right.
Oh, I was just harping back on the Trail of Tears. Let you know this nigga Esau was driven by hatred. He pretty much had a cavalry behind. You know that trail to make sure they. You know what I mean? Nigga had making sure you make it to Oklahoma.
Right, that's why the scriptures say that those who are joined unto him should be thrust through, man. That makes sense now. So you got to come into this information first. See, if you're coming up against this, then that means that you are siding with Esau. How the hell you don't want to see this man going to captivity? You know, well, we went into that last night, so Rock 36. That petition, hey, like when you're in court, then the judge finally say, hey, speak your piece. What should I do for you today? And you just come out, I want this motherfucker dead. I want him, I want his family dead, I want his house taken from him. That's what you read when you read Ecclesiastes 36 chapter, man. There's gonna be no mercy for you devils, man.
Well, you want justice too, because because here it is, he's traumatized you and your family for generations. Now that he's in the judgment seat, and you, like you said, and you have a chance to be a witness and you know, right? Now you're the plaintiff, and then you want to sit there. That's why these niggas that be forgiving Jake, man. But Jake got a bad habit of forgiving the enemy. But here you got the opportunity to actually give out a judgment on your enemy. You don't want to say, you know what, give him double what he did to me. Yeah. That's what we're saying. The Heavenly Father, he's about to judge this place, right, in the sun, and we're the plaintiff crying out against Esau. We want whatever he did to us, we want double done to him. Right. Because he did it wrong for me, man.
And that's the balance out. Like even in court, you have a scale. The symbol of the court is that scale. Esau has weighed down the earth in order to make it right. You know, he got to drink that cup. I got a little bit more in my throat, brothers. It says they drive away the ass of the fatherless. They take the widow's ox for a pledge. A quick point: you can look at on Google. It's because one thing Esau did tactfully is kill off most of the bison here in America too.
Oh yeah.
That's why you don't see no bison. Like, oh shit,
it's pictures, but they got like a damn mountain. You saw that mountain full of damn bison skulls.
And it's a devil. And who on top of it, man? It wasn't a dad.
It was damn evil like that. If not, where and who is it?
And if you bring that in the modern day, what do? They evict you out of your house. They take away your car. You make a late statement. They do this. They take away everything that you worked hard for 3 or 4 years. They can take it away in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
everything in the computer. Oh, he has a good. Okay, you know what? Let's go ahead and take it away.
They give you a crazy high mortgage that they know you ain't gonna pay off. That's why the word mortgage it goes into like the word morgue, which is a death note, man. It's a death pledge. You're gonna pay that house off to the point of your death, and you might not pay it off. That's when the banks take it right back, man.
Ways are always previous.
A little bit more. They drive away the ass of the fatherless. They take the widow's ox for a pledge. Here is a widow. She already, stripped of what she has, and they still taking. They turn the needy out of the way. The poor of the earth hide themselves together.
Oh, it's like look at what happened with the situation with Jake and what we were, our people were basically protesting about police brutality, defund the police and all of that. But then when it comes down to so-called Asian hate, they got legislation quick as hell.
Yeah.
But that's the Lord rousing us up, man. You pissed, man.
They got away quick as man, they got legislation quick as hell. Biden was on that shit. Stop Asian hate. Kamala Harris, so-called her family South.
But she sent out over 70%.
You know what I'm saying?
She sent everybody to prison in LA.
Judge O'Brien, y'all see that?
Oh yeah.
He was like, man, she a witch. Judge O'Brien was going in. He was like, man, that's a black witch. And he was going into it in college. She was fucking. He said she fucked her way to the top. Oh yeah? Yeah, back there.
Oh, okay.
But my point is, because people say take away the right of the needy, right? The people that really need to get help, the Israelites, they don't give us no help. So they turn the needy away. But they'll actually help these other heathens. Why? Because it's beneficial for them to actually keep these deals done with Asia and China and Taiwan and Thailand. Or we'll keep your people, we'll do something for them. It's like, what these niggas gonna do for them? They ain't got nothing.
They got even Moab and Jacob. Moab, hey, that's scripture. I was going to tell you how Moab is the washpot.
Right.
And boy, you want to stir shit up, man.
I'm going to jump down a little bit. You're going to jump around. I'm going to throw it to a brother. Verse 7, they cause the naked to lodge without clothing. Homelessness. Hell, I think I was reading something dealing with the plantation. Certain plantations, children didn't really have, clothes until probably like the age of 15, 16, man. And then they had to pluck that cotton. When you look at cotton has thorns in it. It ain't like you just pick a cotton.
Well, the cotton was red. Most of the cotton, red. They'll whoop you for that. The cotton got red from your blood. You know what I'm saying?
They would beat the shit out of you. Watch movies like 12 Years a Slave, all these different slave movies. They was fucking Jake up. And if Jake didn't pick enough cotton, you get your lashes. And here it is, you got lashes damn near, lacerations damn near to your bone. You gotta wake up that next day and get back to work. And you gotta work harder with these deep lacerations, man.
Yeah, the quota, you don't reach a quota. Well, that shows they did that with the natives. And the memoirs that go into Columbus, they didn't bring back so much gold. We're talking about 7 to 8 year olds, man. They'll hack off their nose and shit like that.
They showed you that in the movie 1492.
Oh, yeah.
They just hacked the dude hand. He didn't have enough gold to put his hand there.
Well, a lot of times, they said they was testing the sharpness of their swords. They just tell the young Jake to come over and then hit him with the sword to test how sharp his sword is.
Man,
war
games, man.
Keep hacking. Imagine if you might just keep hacking because this sword was sharp.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
And we're the ones that's in the room. Jump a little bit more. Verse 9. They pluck the fatherless from the breast.
Oh, but they did that too, man. Yeah.
That's the monster box, man. When you put a woman gonna go over here to South Carolina, the man gonna go to Alabama, the child gonna go to Florida, the daughter gonna go to Mississippi, man.
Oh yeah, they said that this was an auction block up here. 5 points up there.
5 points in the middle.
5 points. Auction block, different 5 points. A lot of these lands, these
pentagrams.
You're cut,
That's witchcraft.
Yeah, come through all levels. Those devils will go from all directions and they will buy slaves and they will go back.
They go out all different directions. Yeah. Like brother said, send the mother to Tennessee, the father to Atlanta, the daughter to Florida.
Yeah. A little bit more. They pluck the fatherless from the breast and take a pledge of the poor. They cause him to go naked without clothing. And they take away the sheep from the hungry. This last verse, we're going to jump to verse 14. The murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and needy.
Ooh, murder is Esau, man.
What was that murder?
Yep. What's the next scripture? I forget where it's at, where it said, you bring your children to the murderers. Yep. Let's take this Hosea. It's the 9th chapter. Yep, go ahead.
The murderer rising with the light. So as daytime, you know, he's rising with it to put that work in. The murderer rising with the light killeth the poor and needy.
The poor and needy, the people on his side, man. That's what this man has his sights on. Everything this man do is to break this nation down. Okay, go ahead.
And what it say? It spoke about him being a murderer in the day, and in the night is as a thief.
Oh, come on.
Killing, stealing,
so so-called white man. And all the time he doing some devious.
He's doing some, devious and devilish, man.
Heinous.
He'll kill you in the daytime and steal from you at night.
Damn.
That's all right, because the ultimate thief will come back and take them in.
Yeah, come on.
I'm sure he'll come as a thief in the night.
Yeah, you see this man is like a fucking robot, man. Like how you put it in, like he has a real Terminator. Like you watch the movie Brightburn where he had that kill. This is how that devil is, really, man. And the Lord is really gearing us up and putting us in that mind frame. Because Esau has desensitized us, turned into American citizens, you know, put us in that American dream mentality where you just want to work and go to college, make 70, 80 grand a year, get you a Porsche, a chick with a fat booty, man, a couple kids. And Jake is under that illusion. Meanwhile, he's just steamrolling. That's why the Lord is putting us in that warrior mentality, raising up tabernacle faith. Putting us in that real T1000, mentality to fight against this devil, because he's already in that mindset.
Well, you know what spirit we gotta have? We gotta have the spirit of the half tribe of Manasseh, Gad, and Reuben. When they had got their land, they couldn't get and rest on their land until the rest of the tribes got the land. So we gotta be in that spirit until the rest of the let come in and until the truth is established in the earth. We can't rest. You know? We got to keep pushing on, because Esau, his society, it's built to destroy us. So we got to be in a warrior-like spirit.
Yeah, the Lord turning us into hunters, like the Lord. That's what the scripture say. This is the faith and the patience of the saints. That's the quality of a hunter. Patience. Yeah, patience. So we've been the more patient you have to wait on someone, you finally get it. You're gonna rip it apart.
I got you. Ezekiel 25:14, it says, "And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel."
Yep. Oh, read that again.
"And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel."
Yep.
"And they shall do in Edom according to mine."
Hey, so that's heavy right there. That means that's an order that's gonna come from the heavens, man. The Lord gonna clear us. The Lord gonna give us the green light on you damn devil, man. And it's gonna be according to his vengeance, according to his anger. Hey, we can't even muster up. Hey, that's why we're gonna need them new bodies. You can't do what we're gonna do with Esau in the kingdom in this body, man.
We need new bodies because the anger that the Lord's gonna put on us. But we can't really contain that spirit in our bodies. Yeah. So he's gonna give us a little bit on this side, but when we get beaten up in these chairs and come down, it's on. Yeah. We're gonna have the anger of the Lord. We're gonna have perfectness. We ain't gonna sin. We're gonna have the new bodies. We're gonna have the angels on our side. Hell, technically Satan's gonna be on our side, because we're gonna have to have beaten over and overcome the wicked one. So everything's gonna be against Esau in that day, man, and these other nations.
And that's gonna be our new sport, man. Our sport is gonna be fucking taking down Edomites. Putting them, these gladiatorial rings and all these different centers that they put Negroes in to fight each other until the point of death. Getting mauled by bears and tigers just for public sport as a spectacle. We're gonna do the same thing to these devils, man.
Yeah, we're gonna use planets.
We're gonna use planets.
Drop his ass on that mysterious planet and tell 1 million Edomites and another 1 million Moabites go at it. Last nation standing.
Get a bowl.
Last nation standing. You belong to that brother right there.
Hey, Esau got his little team, the Eagles, and Versus you have that. Edomite versus the cheetah, the real jaguar.
Yeah, all right.
The bears. Yeah, Edomite bears. Edomite versus the bears. And the lion. Bears and the lion. You got some more?
I got a precept about that.
Oh, yeah, come on, Brandon. Yeah, you can build it.
Yeah, this is Obadiah verse 10.
for thy violence against our brother Jacob.
Right, yeah, because Esau is well documented what the so-called white man did to us, man. Not just the so-called Negro, all these tribes, everybody on this side, man. Okay?
To the point they say that Cubans don't even exist. According to Esau in this narrative, he said Cubans don't even exist.
Because you have some people that said, like, if you know the sign, this is like a stumbling block.
Yeah, it is.
But you got to do the research. Because, yeah, when you go into the people on this side, they have one common enemy, first and foremost. Then you can see what Esau traumatized them as well. You know, it took their land, when you go into the curses, the things that the curse, the scripture said, the curse was devoured. What was that? Deuteronomy 28 and I was sent for, but the evil. Yeah. Yeah. He came, but he swooped down on all the people on his side. Man. See? Go ahead.
It says,
yeah, the birds up here.
Swooped down. So they when they did the expedition, and you know, they used Columbus to what? Scout. Mm-hmm. So he started, their whole thing was to do homework and analyze, you know, which he didn't come to the Americas, but you know, they was doing the analysis and they was taking notes. Mm-hmm. And then they came back with what? Those butchers, man, those murderers. And a lot of those devils that, because you always think about Columbus as the worst guy, those guys that was under these guys like Columbus, those motherfuckers was worse than Columbus, man. They had something to prove.
Yeah. You had one guy, I think he was a priest or something. He wrote a report. Yeah. He said he was sick. He got sick fucking with them boys, man. Yeah, Christopher Columbus and his goons. He went on the boys. Really.
I read an article on the French when you know, the French was going against Toussaint Louverture and the Haitians. They had this one mother effer from Europe. He was trying to break them Haitians. He would bury them alive. He would put all kind of roaches and all kind of stuff in the casket. And they would bury them because they was really trying to traumatize them to try to break them down. And then there was another individual, I think, from the Haitians. He started doing the same thing to those devils, man.
He did it back
he started doing it back to them, to the point where they had to get the hell up out of there. And you see how they jacked Haiti up. That's why Haiti is you know, in such a poverty.
They owe a debt.
They put them under that heavy debt.
To,
and they made it where the Haitians can't trade with Americans. Mm-hmm. They made it where they can't trade with nobody. That's why Haiti is the poorest. What's that? The poorest country.
Yeah, but you got Judah. Judah is the figurehead. That's why so many people can relate. You got these Negro-only Israelite groups out there. Because they're on a low level. Yeah, anybody can look at what happens, you know, with the so-called Negro and say, you know. But you got to go into research to see what happened with all the rest of the tribes.
Right, it's 12 tribes.
12 tribes.
Come on now. 12 tribes of homework.
That's right, you got to go into
12 tribes of homework.
Yeah.
It said Jeremiah 50 and 33, the children of Judah and the children of Israel.
What was oppressed together? What's that talking about?
Good for Uncle Tom. They showed. Y'all see that? It was a Gadite in effect, in the same prison. There was a couple of them in effect right by Judah. It wasn't just Negroes in slavery. They had the Gad in the same prison and stuff with Judah.
Yeah, because they want you to say, well, hold up, the Chickasaws is this and this is that. No, it's like if I got family on every side of town, I'm not going to tell you what I might just say, yeah, they're on the west side, you know, or on the east. That's how, you know, how the tribe set up too, man. You know, when you go into certain certain areas, certain islands and stuff like that. Lord, they're going to go into all the details just to accommodate you, man. All right, go ahead.
Come. Obadiah verse 10, it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee.
Yep.
And thou shalt be cut off forever.
Right, so the Lord's going to cut you off forever. Why? Because you the sword. That's what you did. Okay? The so-called white man, he cut you off from your power, man. That's why you calling on Jesus Christ, man. You know, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. That was a ploy from the so-called white man. Okay? Go ahead.
It says, in the day that thou stoodest on the other side, in the day that the strangers carried away captive his horses, and foreigners entered into his gates, and cast lots upon Jerusalem, even thou was one of them.
Yep. Going all the way back to the ancient Babylonians, man. Yeah. These devils, they instigated, you know. Hey, that's why the scripture said you'll find him there first. You brought that out earlier.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about back back home, Esau always had played a part in jacking the temple up, man.
Oh, yeah.
And during the Babylon, Esau, encouraging, and basically, really, Esau was one of the main ones that was hired to take down Jake and go into the temple. The first one when the Babylon destroyed the temple, and then you had in Greece with what was that? Antiochus Epiphanes when they started the abomination that make it desolate, and then you had 70 AD. So those three times were all Edomites, man. It wasn't the Elamites. Hell, a lot of those heathen nations was helping us build the temple, man. But Esau was all about tearing it down. And so what you think they're going to do to the temple that the Most High's building right now? The temple not made with hands. He's trying to destroy this last temple.
Yeah, you can't fight when you can't see. Yeah, so they can't. The Lord got them this time.
I got something.
Yep. Come on.
This is Ezekiel 35 and 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel.
Right, yeah, you can go into the history on that, man. The lynchings, the hangings, the castrations, that was driven by hate. This man dragged you out into the town square, into the square to sit in front of everybody. Oh, the spectacular, the lynching of Paul Neal, where they said they cut off all his extremities.
Yeah, and burned them.
Yeah, burned them, made them eat it. Yeah, and they said the more they afflicted harm to the man, it was fueling the crowd of the Edomites, man. That's that perpetual hatred, man. They was in the crowd,
It just ended.
Yeah,
They probably really don't even know what's going on, or know why, but because it's a nigger, let's fucking burn him and hang him and chop his
and they would have the post off. They would put because you had this book, the brothers heard of Without Sanctuary. That's a real good book. They got all seen that Without Sanctuary. Got all the lynchings, man. It's a very graphic book. Wow. I got it home. I should have brought it.
Oh man, yeah.
And with this Without Sanctuary, I sent some pictures and everything. It showed you basically the Lord wasn't with us. The Lord took his sanctuary from us. Wow. It's a book of all lynchings, and they would have postcards, and memorabilia. They would actually give away fingers, give away hair follicles. This devil, man.
Used to cut off the man rod and put it in jars with a bombing fluid and give it to each other for gifts. And give to their old ladies for gifts.
Give to them for gifts, man. It's disgusting.
Probably eating for Aphrodite.
Well, they said they did that with what's his name, Nat Turner.
Nat Turner.
They ended up burning them and stewing them.
Chopping up and
ate them.
They kept it. Yep. This is a sick, twisted. Oh, when you go into the scripture talk about how the Lord will be forward to the forward. You go to that word forward, one of the words there is twisted. So that's how we know that's dealing with the so-called white man. This man twisted, man.
And his brother Priest said, put a point just, and I'm gonna add to you. But he made the point of Geronimo. Geronimo was a Native American. He was taking it. He was giving it to Esau. I went to a few years back to Yale University. Often had a lesson in New York a while back. But so-called legend has it, Geronimo's skull is in that university. That's what everybody. That's what everybody says that knows that in Yale University.
Down south, they had him for a minute, and I want to say it's in Mississippi or somewhere. They had him not too far from the Martin King bridge. They had him not too far from there. His skull sitting in a chair with some cowboy boots and a cowboy hat.
See, they be taking the bones and trying to do the satanic rituals.
That's why Skull and Bones Society. They're all about taking skulls, bones, growing certain foods, and they'll have these ritualistics.
Satan probably summon Satan, Beelzebub himself.
Yeah. That's the devil for you, man.
I have it. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel.
Yep, that perpetual hatred. All right, that word perpetual goes into forever, a long endurance, long duration. Meaning what? There's nothing you can do to rehabilitate the hate that the so-called white man has for you, man. Okay? Nothing, man. You can see the countenance on these devils, man. They hate you, man.
It says the hatred of old.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, a hatred of old. They go all the way back, yeah. That's it.
And that's why
Jacob and Esau, the serpent.
Cain and
Abel.
That's why, like, but you see this.
What are you guys doing?
It's kind of like it's a private section. We just talking.
It says
Yeah.
It says, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Yeah.
So it's got this Zion Wade. So the time now that we're in is basically the time that our sins and everything has an end. But Esau, he wants to set everything up to continue to destroy it. It says,
and he loves doing it. You know, like you, Jake. You know, you get off, popping a nice chick. You feel charged up. You might be looking in the mirror like, yeah, I did my thing. Esau do. You know, he get charged up off of.
Oh yeah.
You know, fucking Jack and Jacob.
Oppression. Get a kick out of oppression. Motherfucker, you get a phone. They got a contract. You know.
Yeah. And you know they'll probably be on their deathbed. You know, they reminisce on our. But at least I got me a couple niggas, man.
Yeah.
At least I got to butcher a couple niggas. You know, I fucking got them, man. I did it for the forefathers. And you know, but it's real talk. This is how these sick, demented devils think, man. We're really going into the psychology of Esau, and a lot of people can't take this. It's the ugliness of Eve.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't want to hear this.
The ugliness of it.
oh, that's a lesson. The ugliness of
That's bad. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah. Real quick, hold up. Real quick.
Just to back you up, Proverbs 4 and 16, for they sleep not, except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall.
Yeah, so unless they did some kind of act against Israel, whether it be, you know, making a shipment of more hollow point bullets to the cops, you know, for the hood, you know, whether it's actually really killing Jake or whatever, they don't sleep. They don't sleep unless they put up some kind of legislation. Because Scripture also says, when it's light, they practice it. They practice their evil, their witchcraft, and stuff like that. So whatever they do, they have to make sure that when they have a time to actually rest and go to sleep, they did something against the children of Israel. And that's talking about the high up elites.
Oh, that's why. So like, which one? Who was that? Dave. The boy had the big ass. He had the big, the bags on his eye. I think we got a picture of him. That should jump out to you. That's the spirit.
Oh, David Rockefeller, he wanted to.
Yeah, the seven hard man.
Looking like he died and came back, man. Look like Mr. Burns.
But that ain't the one. That ain't the famous picture though. Let me see. Let me look at it. There's one that you can see the blood spilling out of his eye.
Oh, I seen that.
He was freshly in. He was just.
That's Nathan fresh.
That's the third family. He was good.
Man, that's not certain. Like certain people, you know, a lot of these. A lot of people will look at these individuals, and you know they'll try to say that they're. If you want to use this example, they'll say they're reptilians. We know they're not reptilians, but it's like you got to be that wicked for people to actually believe that you have a whole nother, a whole nother race. Like these can't be people.
Inhumane.
Yeah.
But that's how you know that they go back to the serpent in the garden. They got that serpent-like spirit. They're not really reptilians, but they got an evil serpentine spirit.
That's it.
Conniving, mischievous, devious, devilish, villainous, cold-blooded spirit, man.
And that's the only way that they can rationalize out. You're a reptile.
Yeah, but you gotta be only that can rationalize it. You gotta be an actual serpent, like a demon. Yeah, come on. All right, so this is Ezekiel 35:6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee.
Yeah, that's what's happening now. Blood is on. Hey, and for some to pursue you, that means you on the run. That gives credence to the so-called white man being the criminal, man. You know, you hear even with, like you might see cops or something, we in hot pursuit. You know, yes, this devil is running from his destiny, man. I was just thinking that. I should be a fugitive and a vagabond. And these camps are set up as checkpoints. You know, all throughout the world. We blocking, everywhere you try to go for refuge, we there. You know?
Blocking them off.
Yeah, blocking them off.
Every time, every major city you go to, there's pretty much an Israelite cursing his ass out.
Yeah. There's nowhere from the run in the earth.
And that's why, even you see these hot pursuits, like with the spirit we're talking about, like our pursuit, that's why you got to stay with this, because this is the gas, man.
Yeah.
You got to keep this gas in the tank so that you can stay
oil in the engine.
That's the oil in the engine, man.
Yeah. Oil in the engine.
Stay on these. You got to keep these fluids in you, man, so you can stay hot on Esau's ass, man.
You got to have water in the, water and freon.
So it could work like what? Like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, real quick.
God, this is the book of Wisdom, Solomon 1. I started verse 7. It says, for the spirit of the Lord filleth the world.
Like we just said. The spirit of the Lord is all throughout the world. The Lord has checkmated Esau. Nowhere he can go. Yeah. Right? Go ahead.
It says, and it's like it, for the spirit of the Lord filleth the world, and that which containeth all things have knowledge of the voice.
Yep.
Therefore, he that speaketh unrighteous things cannot be hid.
See, so now the so-called white man can't be hid anymore. They cannot be hid.
You know why? Because it's like we read over there earlier, how were the things that Esau searched out, how his hidden things sought up. So the things that he tried to hide, his hidden things, they're now sought after, they're sought up, they're being put to the forefront. Now we can talk about, you know, all the atrocities he did to our people.
Yeah, spiritual criminal investigation, man.
Yeah.
You know, we putting the things under the light, you know, doing them thorough analysis, man.
Scripture speaks about that.
We got video proof.
Video proof.
Oh, that's it.
Yeah, inquisitions, deep, thorough investigations.
Yeah, it says, therefore, he that speaketh unrighteous things cannot be hid, neither shall vengeance, when it punisheth, pass by him.
Yeah, so when the Lord poured forth that judgment that was prepared for him from the beginning, because this is already written, you know. There's no way Esau can sidestep it. Nothing this man can do. Him trying to establish a new world order and crown his enterprise of success. In no wise would that offset what Yahweh Shema Shai prepared for this devil, man. Hey, this is a long time coming, man. This been brewing. This devil, man, he ain't paid for a lot of crimes and atrocities. Yeah, thousands of years, man. You got to pay for everything going all the way back to the garden. You know? That's why Joel, the second chapter, reminded, he said, the land is as the Garden of Eden. So the Lord still got it. The Lord remember you, man. All right, go ahead.
It says, for inquisition shall be made into the counsels of the ungodly.
Yep.
And the sound of his words shall come unto the Lord for the manifestation of his wicked deeds.
That's it, man. So this is what this thing is all about. It's all an effort to manifest, make clear, make obvious, to lay out on display the deeds of the so-called white man. You know? Hey, that happened to us. It tells you that in first Ezra, how the words of the Lord rose up against Israel. Because, hey, that was everything how we offended, it came back to bite us. But guess what? You think the so-called white man is going to somehow get away with the spoils? No, man. The Lord's going to make this, this is going to be a beautiful piece of work right here, man. How the Lord's going to visit Esau.
Esau going to be caught with that big-ass bag with that light on it.
Yeah, come
Right, with his head.
Yeah, caught his hand in the cookie jar. Oh, that's it. That's the spirit. Yeah, caught red-handed, man.
Oh, but the word criminal goes into the word crimson. White. Excuse me, which is red.
Red,
Dealing with that first crime family, the Borgiers.
Borgiers, yeah. Criminals, yeah.
I got some more. Ezekiel 35 and 6. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shai, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee.
Yep,
since thou hast not hated blood,
this man never shied away from blood. This man never shied away from blood, man. You know, he always welcomed that. Yeah, that's on all up. Even his entertainment. You didn't know about Dracula or vampires and shit. That's so-called.
They tried to put that on Jake.
They had the movie, I think, Resident Evil. But they had the vampires that represent Esau, but they had the werewolves that really represented Jake. Because those vampires was
Underworld.
Underworld, that's what it was. Underworld, because those werewolves were, the Lycans and the vampires. Them vampires represent Esau, because what? In the sunlight, vampires can't be out. Esau has that skin, man. He has that skin deficiency. Where he gets melanoma, he gets skin cancer. You know, he has to take all these different sun enhancements, to actually sustain within, the sun. He is that
earth itself is against his land.
It says, thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate.
Yep, and Mount Seir translates to America today. Wherever the so-called white man hits his tent, man, that's Mount Seir. You know? Plus, they're going to ultimately make this place most desolate. And how is that feat going to be accomplished? Through World War III. See, this is the only doctrine that makes sense. And you can filter it with current events. This is the only thing that makes sense, man. Simultaneously, as we teach this, you see these nations prepping up. Yeah, they technology.
Joel 3.
Yep, Joel 3. Yep.
It says, and cut off.
about that blood. Revelation 16:6. For they have shed the blood of the saints and prophets, and thou hast given them blood to drink, for they are worthy.
Yeah, so Esau earned his ass. Yeah, so he shed the blood of the saints. So what? Now the Lord going to pay him back with the same.
Just pay.
Yeah.
And it's a quick one. The precept, we go with that precept. Numbers 35:33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land.
Yeah. So that proves that America is polluted. And what happens with some polluted? It has to be cleansed. Okay? So now since the law already used the cleansing agent in relation to water, what's the next cleansing agent? Fire. Okay? Go ahead.
For blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein.
The scripture said blood defileth the land, because what? The scripture also tells us life is in the blood. So you shedding that blood on the ground. Just like righteous Abel, his blood cried out into the Most High, because his life in the blood. That's why it defileth the land. You shedding the life, the blood.
It says, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed.
That's the only way to make things right, man. Because Yahweh shot up the ante when he shed his blood. That's the new currency. Yeah, go ahead.
They had that movie, I think with Snoop Dogg back in the day, was when he got Bone.
Oh, yeah.
You know, brothers recall that movie. All of them had partook in killing them. They all had their hand on the sword in an apartment building. And what? He came back with a vengeance, man. He came back as a death angel. You know, and going back to Revelation, the first chapter, with the hand of them that pierced him. Yeah, I was sure gonna come back in that same spirit. Everybody that touched him and touched his elect 2,000 years ago, you know, and even past that, all the prophets that got butchered, you know, and martyred, which we know the word martyr means witness, but the ones that got, you know, beheaded and got, you know, killed for his word's sake, the Maccabean family, all these individuals, they, you know, Esau got to pay for all that too, man.
He got to pay for everything he did in a different lifetime.
Yeah, the Lord required that.
Required that which is fast.
It's Second Maccabees 8:4. And remember the wicked slaughter on the harmless infants and the blasphemies committed against his name. And that he would soothe his hatred against the wicked. So yeah, Lord Yahweh Shah, you know, that's why we're doing it, so we can get an Esau, eat them, and tell them, crying out to Lord Yahweh Shah to remember the iniquities that the atrocities they did to the so-called Negro Latino natives, man.
Hey, that's that crying from the ground. Brother going into, they put this concrete down, you know what I mean, to keep the spirits from crying out to the Lord, so you don't remember, but guess what? The spirits still cry out through this concrete.
We the spirits that cry out.
The spirits in the heavens anyway.
Yeah,
The body's down
the clouds.
there, but the spirit is up there, and the spirit, like it says in Revelation, how long until the redeemers? You know, how long?
I got a precept real quick. I got one right here.
Precepts coming out.
Second Ezra 15:8. I will hold my tongue no more as touching their wickedness, which they profanely commit.
The word profane, what is outside of the temple.
Yeah.
You know, he does everything that's adverse to the ways of Yahweh Shalom Shah. Got it.
Neither will I suffer them in those things in which they wickedly exercise themselves. Behold, the innocent and righteous blood cry unto me, and the souls of the just complain continually.
And the souls of the just complain continually. We're part of that number too, like the brother said, up in the heaven, and we are those souls that's complaining too. Oh, they go into that word plaintiff too. Plaintiff, that's a complainant. Defender, yeah, that's the one who bringing the complaint. Yeah, so we complaining, man. Oh, that's the parable. The portion of widow.
Yeah, portion of widow.
Yeah, just continually complaining. She continually coming to court. You know.
It's Amos 1:11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof.
It's only 3 or 4. You know he got more transgressions than that.
Yeah.
That's just showing you.
Yeah.
That's just showing you how much he got against him, man.
God dang. So if the Lord was even considered the 500 one,
right?
He really done. Lord said, hey, for 4 is old.
Like, I'm thinking like enough just to write these 4.
That's enough right there. That's bad.
It says, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast out all pity, and his anger did tear perpetual.
Oh, when the brothers were touching, briefly went into that. The Trail of Tears, he cast out all pity, man. Yeah.
No mercy.
No mercy, man. Drug you out to the house and led you to be hung, and no pity. When he came and got immaterial at the house, was that? That showed the spirit of heaven. That was sanctioned by the Lord. You know, if you brought 2 weird Edomites, and they came to a house of 7, 8 jakes and said, "We're gonna just come get Emmett and whoop his ass." They said, "We just coming to whoop him," and they let him get him and take him away, man. But it was a lot of times where you had babies suckling from their breasts, crying. Even anybody said, "Well, hold up, man. That's compassion in that."
Yeah.
They pull the baby from off the breast and go stomp him
Lord
out,
didn't
man.
give Esau that spirit.
Yeah.
He didn't give Esau whatever compassion. He took that spirit off of him and put the spirit of that wicked devil.
But you had a gator bait.
Gator bait.
They would take those babies and lasso them up by their foot, and they would put them close enough to catch the gators, and the gators would bite them, you know, and they would basically kill the gators, but they would use Jacob's feet. They could have used deer legs. They could have used any animal, but they got off by using. And they had going back to the memorabilia. It's certain museums, like slave museums, you could see actual gators with the little baby, you know, right in the mouth of the toys. They got all that shit.
Yeah, motherfuckers. But for the gators, that gator shot. And also, they would put them babies in chicken coops, man, overnight and shit like that. Yeah.
And then they'll bring the animals in, the farm stuff, and then they'll bring it.
So that's the part, that was Brother Reed right there. They showed no compassion, man. No compassion. You know? Go ahead.
It says, this is Ezekiel 35 and 7. That's what I make Mount Seir most desolate. And cut off from it him that passeth out and him that returneth. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men. In thy hills and in thy valleys and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy city shall not return.
Yeah, America is not going to come back, man. You know, once the Lord destroyed this place, that's why this place is known as Egypt. Because when you go on the Pharaoh, the Lord killed off the first born, right? That signified them not coming back into power. Yeah, because your firstborn is ensure that you would sit on the throne, somebody be on the throne. So the Lord cut that off from Egypt, the firstborn. Yeah, but now the Lord said he's going to cut off son and nephew from Esau, man. So he's going to make sure you never come.
Yeah. And that's why the statute was so heavy. Dealing with King Samuel. The prophet Samuel told Saul to get rid of them Edomites, man.
Yeah.
You know, and where he disobeyed, you know, because those devils was going to be a thorn in our side. You know, King Samuel and a lot of those, you know, the other prophets, that was like a statue, man. Make sure that them devils is wiped out.
They had this and they saw it.
Where you had those, I forgot who it was, but they were staking down on Edom. They stayed in the land of Edom for, I think, a few days to make sure that all of them was wiped out.
Oh, yeah, was that Joab, man?
Yeah.
They stood there for a little while, like 3 months or something, and then they were trying to. If anybody, there's an Edomite coming out their cave,
we put them out.
Bing, might hit them with a bow and arrow or something. Take them out. Then I think Josiah was kicking them off the
kicking them devils off the ledges.
We're going to do that again, man.
Yeah. You take them up to the top and throw their ass
on down, man.
Target practice, all of that, man.
That's all written in the scriptures, man.
Bet I can use my chair to beat that Edomite right there. Beaming this.
Say meditate upon terror.
Meditate upon terror. I'll just finish it out. It says, I will make thee perpetual desolations, and thy city shall not return, and ye shall know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Shah.
All right, go ahead.
So Psalms chapter 58 and verse 7 said, let them melt away as waters which run continually. When he bent up his bow to shoot his arrows, let them be cut as in pieces.
Yeah, that's how the Lord that's how the Lord going to nail in the coffin. When he sent forth those ordained arrows, which is the millstone. Now, the scripture said they're going to melt away as waters, right? That complements that lake of fire that you read about. Yep, go ahead.
Verse 8, as a snare which melteth, and every one of them pass away, like the untimely birth of a woman, that they might not see the sun.
And how the snails melt when you apply salt. What are the scriptures liken us unto? That salt of the earth. We the salt in this devil's wounds, man.
Yeah.
You know, we're gonna keep sprinkling that salt on you devils, man.
That's it.
You know?
And scripture speaks about this. Like it, he said that Esau reasoned with himself. He said that we're grievous for him to even to behold. You know, with that wisdom Solomon. So like the brother said, we're salt in the moon.
Yeah, salt in the moon.
Salt in the moon. The irritate, it's irritable. Hey, because starting with the apostles, when you really go into detail, right? 2007 is really when them devils wanted to bring forth that thing, man, the MOB. Because if you go back to Dateline News, it was 2007 when they first came out to introduce it. And how convenient, the summer of that same year, the apostles came on the scene, right? As far as on the internet. So they had to keep pushing it back. You know, they had to keep growing up the plan. Yeah, remember that? Yeah.
There's a news clip.
Yeah. So the Lord set us out, you know, pretty much, you know, point them out like, yeah, that's the devil, you know.
Okay. This is Psalm 37:1. Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be thou envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down.
Yeah, they shall soon. All right.
Be cut down like the grass and wither as the green herb.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the verdict, if you will. Esau going to be soon cut down. And it's heavy when you read that. That's talking about this lifetime, because Esau wasn't soon cut down. You know, as of then. You know, this is prophecy. You know, is that a Psalm of David?
Psalm of David.
Yep. To make sure he was speaking according to the testimony of Yahweh. He was in the spirit of prophecy.
And then when you think about grass being cut, you think about a lawnmower. It tells you that in what? Jeremiah, we shall be like a sharp threshing instrument having teeth, you know?
Yep, and the grass too, you have blades of grass. Yeah, blades of grass. That lets you know that's dealing with the soil, that's dealing with the soil. These grass actually look like a soil. That's why you have that blade of grass. Yeah.
It says, trust in the Lord and do good, so shalt thou dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed. And one of the quick point, he said, I have seen the wicked springing forth as a green bay tree, man. So that same green bay tree that spread forth, when you look at them green bay trees, them shit's big as hell, man.
Yeah.
You know, but that same tree, you know, when it said it spread, what? Esau spread all throughout the face of the planet Earth, man.
Yeah.
You know, conquer. But that same tree is gonna be chopped down. So the bigger, how he said, the bigger you are, the harder you are.
Oh well, yeah. So Babylon, the greater the wickedness, the greater the devil.
And the Lord likened us unto what? Axe. You know, we got that axe in our hand. We gotta keep chopping.
I hewn them by the prophets.
Hewn them by the prophets.
So the prophets are hewing this society down. The prophets are hewing down Esau. You know?
Yeah. And it's just not one swipe. You see the people that hack down trees, or they sometimes have the saws that go back and forth. It's not just one slice and the whole tree fall. The bigger the tree, because them roots and that trunk, that should be thick. You know, so you gotta keep hacking, hit.
Oh yeah, you know? They're hewn down by the prophet.
Hewn down by the prophet.
You know, that's like a process.
Judah.
I got something. It's Psalms 137:7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of
they're going to remember again. You want us to forget about it? Nope. No, the Lord said he requires that which is past. That's why in certain cases, his pictures are black and white. You go into some of these signs, it's black and white pictures. You know, dating all the way to the 50s and 60s. We touched on stuff at 80. Oh, what you said, the 100-year, the bicentennial. Oh, what that is up there? See, you didn't tell us to forget about this.
No, that was
these
the
devils, man.
That was the
Hey, don't show that. Put this up there, man. Let them see that image right there. That's not back in the cave man days. Them Edomites, some Edomites still in the damn. Some young Edomites in the damn old folks home, man.
I know, the other day.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Yeah, a lot of those images, they put them in black and white.
They
make it seem like it's a long time ago. We have color cameras and film.
But look at the suits. Bill back. What they call him? Bill back. And look at the look on their face, man. You see the excitement.
Oh, yeah.
That one right there, where you see them. Yeah. Not that one. Yeah, when they point up. You can get that. When they see that, man, they got off on that, man. That's that perpetual hatred right there. And now, Jake's so simple. Just because the motherfucker, one of them old Edomites, they have to check out land at Walmart, and they speak to you every time you come in there. Take the fall for that shit.
But that's their grandfather.
Well, you know, Esau got that mechanism. Well, they got a deceptive mechanism. That's why you always see them, they smile first.
So though he go crouch.
Yeah, though he go crouch and cut.
Yeah, Jake stopped thinking he saw the devil because, you know, fucking Karen giving out donuts every Monday and shit.
Yeah.
So Jake, you know, smashing on the donuts.
And you bring out this, they get offended. But we had that. Guy came up. He let us get through breaking all the scriptures down. We went into all the breakdown. He let us get finished and said, man, but I'm going to say, man, all so-called white people ain't that bad. That's why the dog going to kill them niggas.
Give you a piece of party at work.
Yeah, they gave you a gift card. Yeah, gift card for Red Lobster.
Now you consider it, man. I can gift
card.
It says, remember, O Lord, the children of Edom and the day of Jerusalem, who said, erase it, even to the foundation thereof.
Yeah, see that? Yeah. Yep, going all the way back again, like to the ancient Babylonian.
It says to make bare.
Eradication, man. They didn't want to stop till they made sure all these so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans were removed from the face of the earth. And the ones they didn't beat and traumatize, they put in heavy captivity. And this isn't a physical captivity anymore, it's a captivity of the mind.
That's it.
When you read Willie Lynch in his letter, which he was man.
Oh yeah, he was the devil.
He might be one of the bankers. I think he came from London.
He was a slave on
the islands. But they think he was a British.
Because he got hired to the islands. Because he was basically hired to the islands to put in work on the
And they said, hey, it would take a miracle to come from out of that.
They say, yeah, a miracle like divine intervention.
Divine intervention. That's it.
But guess what? The Lord did it.
He did.
Because when they say PTSD is a post-traumatic slave disorder, man.
Wow.
This is post-trauma. Us from generations, we ain't just right now, you know, our forefathers went through that, now we good. Nah. I would say we have complexes about ourselves. That's why you see the black woman, she got a fucking hair full of blonde hair. You know? And then you have the image of beauty. Back then, they had these magazines. Majority of these magazines, they have the image of beauty as a thin-ass white woman looking like a damn little boy.
Yeah.
You know? They'll make that the image of beauty. But then they'll look at, they had that black woman in Africa. They actually, you remember that story?
Yeah,
Sarah Barker. They put her in the zoo.
Yeah.
They made her a class act. They made her a fucking, a spectacle. You know, because she had a fat, big butt. You know, she had, titties and whatnot. They made her like an animal, man. They put her in a circus. See the specimen? Yeah, like the specimen.
Yeah, like that's the spectacle. Like, look at this.
And a little bit more, it says, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh the dashes.
You notice, right? Esau, through his Christianity, which that's a point right there. That's one of his tactics. Was at the forefront of his that forgive and forget type of spirit. So this will be foreign to you. The idea of the Lord, what Scripture says, is a righteous name with him to recompense those who trouble you. That's the very essence of justice, man. So we have to reward you, but you don't feel good about that unless you get back. You know?
It's about to get back.
It's about that, yeah.
And America's a daughter of Babylon, so this place is going to get exactly what it deserves because of what they did to Israel.
Right. They try to make that turn the other cheek. They try to take that out of context and make it something about it.
Yeah, we don't remember Martin Luther King. No, we don't remember King David. That's the only king I remember.
Hey, can I say too? Like, hey, if that's the case, why the Most High himself didn't just let us go? Why ain't just let it ride with us? He got us back.
Right.
He got us back. Yeah. Lord, all about get back.
That's just about get back. Well, that's what's that? Psalm 9. Justice and judgment is the habitation of thy throne.
It says, happy shall he be that taketh and dashes thy little ones.
So now the scripture going into vivid illustration. Read that again.
It says, happy shall he be that taketh and dashes thy little ones against the stone.
Come on, man. So
you don't be happy.
Big fucking head baby, man.
We're going to play baseball.
Yeah. And we're going to have understanding. We're going to know who that is, man. That's going to contribute. You're going to know you got Andrew Jackson They babies liable to come out with sense. And now he going into that. That's heavy though. That's that dope. Because the Lord, that was mercy. You not knowing your past. You not knowing that was mercy on the Lord. You not knowing how you died. Or, God can double them. Have them come back. They know exactly what the hell going on. Come out the womb, grabbing on. They trying to hold on. You got Andrew Jackson face, like real Andrew Jackson face. Oh, get the curl there. Some of the John Washington coming out. Oh, that's you, man.
Like, Kingdom, you know we're going to have to hear the film back.
So,
just like they brainwash our kids with these, now, it's Sesame Street and Barney and Arthur and all that, believing in America. Well, when they come out, we're going to have them actually seeing, all their sins and evil. They're going to know they Esau, man. They're going to know that the greatest man on the earth is Howard Shy and the 144,000. We're going to really, but it's going to be the truth, but we're going to indoctrinate them in the truth.
They had an episode.
You know, they're the lowest of the low.
Back then, they had the show The Twilight Zone. They had an episode where the lady had to go back to the past and kill Hitler. So she was all about going out. She was trying to put him down, man.
Was that one of the black and white episodes? Or
I think it was a black and white one.
Yeah, I got to get on that.
Those, man.
But it's the same thing, through the spirit. Because we know this devil, man. Just think if you had the opportunity to kill somebody that would grow up to be a prominent evil figure. They can look at a white, and they make that image of children. A white baby, like, that baby ain't going to do no harm now. It's going to grow up. He's going to grow up and destroy countries, man. So we're going to cut it off. Let's speak about cutting it off. Fuck if he 3 months, the children 3 months old, there's a 7-month-old white little girl, But the Lord is gonna really twist our heads up so that we have that mindset to really get busy. You got it? Some more on that?
No, that was it.
Okay, I got a precept. Psalm 73 and 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. For there are no bands in their death. But their strength is firm.
Yeah, because it seemed like, especially if you go back to the time we mentioned, it seemed as if there was no end in sight. Like these devils, they had a firm grip on power, man. If you go back to like hardcore slavery, they could have never saw this. You had got there a house of 5 Edomites, and they was running a plantation with 40, 50 jakes, man. And all the jakes was in line. No uprising. Like that's because they thought that this man, he was the be-all, end-all. And that's the way it's saying, because the Lord actually set him up. Oh, that's Jeremiah 5, I want to say, or 6. Well, he who come up against Nebuchadnezzar, the Lord said he would destroy him. So the Lord actually set he up, man.
Set him up.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It says, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore, pride compasseth them about as a chain.
Right, hey, and the so-called white man, he feel as if him triumphing, if you will.
In purpose.
Yeah, exactly. He think that it was all because of him.
Yeah.
He thought it was based upon his merits. He never once considered that it was a higher power, a highly intelligent force that was giving him, his marching orders. And that's in Isaiah the 10th chapter. It said the axe boast himself of him who lifted it up. See? Go ahead.
All right. Violence covered them as a garment. Their eyes stand out with fatness.
Yep.
They have more than heart could wish.
That's it, man. They're going into the banquets.
Yeah. I was going to say
Go ahead.
They are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning
they are corrupt. Yeah, when something is corrupt, is like moth eating it. It's like rust. It can't get better. When something is corrupt, it's already finished. Yeah, there's no reverse process. There you go. Right? Oh, it's another scripture. What's that? 2nd Ezra 6, where it says corruption is overcome. It's dealing with the so-called white man now being overwhelmed with the presence of Yahweh Shah. And that's heavy, because there was no other entity that can test this man. Pretty much there was no chink in his armor, so to speak. But the Lord did something that sort of bringing forth this word, man, to confound this devil.
Unstoppable force.
Yeah.
What they say when an unstoppable force speaks?
He was an unstoppable force, but when he meet the unmovable object, which is that mountain, when he comes this it's going to be it.
This brazen wall?
It's another scripture.
Brazen wall, yeah.
Killed it with some, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, if they bang them together, some got to give.
Last verse. They speak loftily. They set their mouth against the heavens.
Right. This man, he speaks lawfully. Scripture say that too. He trusts in his in the law of his strength. He speaks lawfully. That's in the form of his legislation. He speaks against the heavens. He speaks against the highest powers conceivable.
You had the governor of New York, Governor Cuomo, when this pandemic was hitting hard, and then they started to get people jabbed. He said it. I seen him publicly. He said God didn't quell this thing. We did it. You're like, nah, it wasn't God that did it. We did it. That's speaking lawfully. Speak lawfully. They set their mouth against the heavens, and their tongue walketh through the earth.
Yeah, again, the legislation, the law, that's what. Hey, let's say if you don't comply with Esau, he hit you with sanctions. Well, that's really a testament against him too. It proves that you're the one in power. Like vocab, they want to try to, in one breath, they want to boast in the fact that Esau is, in power. But then when you married it with the scriptures, they don't want no part of it. When you being in power, you have an influence that you have that extended throughout the planet Earth.
You thinking that's not going to be in the scriptures?
Yeah, come on, man. Yeah, so the scriptures point out that Esau was being in power at the end. The end, that word end, actually is synonymous with the scripture. Okay? And so with that, you got something else?
I didn't bring it out real
come on,
quick.
bring it up.
This is Job 20 and 27. The heavens shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against
it. The heavens is revealing his iniquity. When you consider the internet, this is the time where Esau is made bare, man. Oh, that's why you had that one devil said we should have never created. Now, when you read Psalm the 19th chapter, tell you about the heavens declare. Yeah. So now we're in a time where his iniquities is being laid out on display for everybody to see. And it's uncomfortable for this damn devil, man. Right? Go ahead.
It says, the increase of his house shall depart, and his good shall flow away.
That's spirit, you can't make it. That's the same book. Oh, y'all remember everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, bro. They don't want to do it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
It says, the increase of his house shall depart, and his good shall flow away in the day of his wrath. Which that's going to basically everything that he has in society. They're going to lose that. He's going to lose his stronghold of these religions that he got. He's going to lose the stronghold of the riches, the stronghold of philosophy on the people. He's going to lose that. It says that they shall flow away in the day of his wrath. Verse 29, this last verse. This is the portion of a wicked man from the Most High, and the heritage appointed unto him by the Heavenly Father.
It's like it too. And that word portion we go into it, one of the words is inheritance. Yeah, that's inheritance. You can't get away from that. That's your lot. You got to occupy that.
And he did.
Yeah. He occupied it. Yeah.
Played the great devil in this storyline, man.
That's it.
It was a good feeling.
Yeah. He won an award.
The good guy got to win.
Well, he gonna win an award. He gonna win an award. He won an award from Oscar.
The spike went to the back.
The missile. Instead of the Oscar, you know what I mean? And the missile goes to. Oh yeah. Hey, so with that, let me give all praise, honor, and glory. Double Unside teachers, the head apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, you brothers out there laboring in his work. And as always, the believers, the Akim as well as the Aqua, subscribe to the truth as well. So next time, Shalom.
Shalom. ECA.